Africa, unite, cause we're moving right out of Babylon, and we going to our father's land. Yeah, how good and how pleasant it could be before God and man to see the unification of all Africans. Yeah, has this been said already? Let it be done. Eh, we are the children of that Rasta man. We are the children of that higher man. Whoa, Africa, unite. Children wanna unite. Yeah, whoa, Africa, unite. Cause you're moving right out of Babylon, and we going to our father's land. Yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. How good and how pleasant it could be before God and man to see the unification of a Rasta man. Yeah. Marcus Garvey said it. Now let it be done. Hey, I know we know who we are. Under the sun, children. We are the children of that Rasta man. We are the children of that higher man. Whoa, whoa. Africa, unite. Africa, unite, yeah. Unite for the benefit of your people, cause we're moving right out of Babylon. Unite for the benefit of your children. Africa, awake, aye we go. Africa, awake in aye we go. Africa, you are my forefathers' cornerstone. Yes, yes, yes. Good afternoon from Houston, Texas, United States of America. It is 4:19 p.m. Central Standard Time here. That is 5:19 p.m. Eastern Standard. That is 2 p.m. to 2:19 p.m. Pacific, and 10:19 p.m. in Nigeria, and whatever it is, wherever you are tuning in from the world. How are you all doing? How are you all doing? Yes, we're welcoming you to yet another edition of Matters Arising at ONN. And my name is Smart Mado Ajaja. Princess, how are you? Great to see you guys. Hey, join us, bring more people in. Share this broadcast. It's very important to Africa. It's important to the people of the world. Remember what Bob Marley said. He said, if Africa no free, the world ain't going to know peace. Yes, it's time to finally liberate Africa. Yes, 80 years after the United Nations, 80 years, we are going through another round. Every September they come. Every country comes to New York, all right, to speak about the state of their nation and in relation to the activities of the United Nations. Today we have an opportunity to appraise the goodness or otherwise of the United Nations. Yes, this is an open mic edition, so feel free to express yourself and then let us know how you feel, and we can, address your questions and do whatever we need to do. We are going to listen. I'm focusing on Africa. On the state of African countries. Africa has the largest block of countries that come to the United Nations. 55 African countries, 55, with the inclusion of South Sudan. Makes it 55. It used to be 54. Now we got 55. The single largest block Yes, the single largest block. And you know something? What is wrong with this block? This block of one people. Yes, this block of a people who were enslaved first by the Arabs for 700 years. Yes, with castrating all the male slaves that were captured from Africa and sent to the Arab world. Yes, 700 years of slavery of the African people by the Arabs. And you know what they did? They castrated all the male slaves, all male slaves for 700 years. That's a billions of testicles taken away from African men. Why? Because they didn't want them to populate the Arab world. But that is that. 700 years. And when they were living, what did they do? They gave us their religion, Islam. All right? So they oppressed us, shoved us down our necks, our throats, exploited and took everything from us, and then they gave us their religion, the religion of their oppressors. All right? Then after that, the Europeans came. Europeans came for another 400 years. 400 years of creating the African people like dogs in cages, and then put them in sheep, take them through gates of no return in Ghana, Senegal, Badagry in Nigeria, and many other places where slaves were taken away. Yes, they slammed them. They took them to Europe. Yes, I'm talking about Portugal. They took some to Portugal. They took some to England. They took some to Spain. They took some to Germany. They took them everywhere. Yes, France, the biggest culprit. Yes, they took the people. Slavery. 400 years, European slavery. 700 years of Arab slavery. A total of 1,100 years of the enslavement of the African people. Yes, and slavery is still going on anyway. But that one now is like they find a good name. They call it human trafficking. It's no longer slavery, all right? It's a new name that it comes with now. Nice, sweet names, all right? The same people that were enslaved for those 1,100 years, all right? They came back and then said, okay, the cost of transporting them across the Atlantic was becoming too much. Why can't we do something else? We can enslave them in their homeland. And then they brought it and they called it colonialism. Colonialism means slavery in your local environment. Okay? They come, they have the police, they built army, they built everything. They were stealing our resources, taking our timbers, digging our minerals, taking everything away. Yes, that lasted for how long again? Only God knows. Yes, colonialism. All right? And then by the 1900s, with the message of great men like Marcus Mosiah Garvey, who started asking questions. Marcus Mosiah Garvey was born in 1877, 17th of August 1877, in Jamaica. Yes, a descendant of slaves. He started organizing at a very young age. His activities brought him here to the United States, from where I am preaching the same message, expanding his message. I feel so honored, so happy, so honored, to be on the same soil from where Marcus Garvey did most of his work, to expand, to do my own work, taking off from his inspiration. Yes, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, by the early 1900s, was already preaching. He was a preacher, but his theology was driven by Pan-Africanism. Yes, he was talking about respect, demanding for respect, for the respect and dignity for the black man here in the United States. He got into many troubles to the extent that he was jailed. He was framed here. Yes, he was framed. They framed him with a mail fraud and jailed him. Yes, but that did not break him. After they jailed him and he was released, they deported him back to Jamaica. But his message had already taken root. And his message was resonating with the freedom fighters in Africa. Some of them met him here as students. I'm talking about men like Dr. Nandi Azikiwe from Nigeria, Kwame Nkrumah from Ghana, and the host of them. Some of them met him physically, and he inspired them. Some of them read just from what they read from the books about the greatness of this man, Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Yes, it was his message that catalyzed, yes, those who started the process of decolonizing Africa. Yes, I'm giving you background history, so you can understand where I am coming from. All right, so now they came, colonized. All right, and the colonization was preceded by something, the Berlin Conference of 1884 and 1885, where some Europeans came together, or when they came together in Germany, Berlin, Germany, in 1884 and 1885, and decided to balkanize. Yeah, that's the time of the scramble for the partitioning of Africa. Yes, they partitioned the continent, and they brought unlike terms together, and they did it on purpose to create the kind of mayhem that we are seeing, to create the series of time bombs that are exploding everywhere in the continent of Africa. Yes, and that is exactly, they are responsible. But for how long are we going to hold them responsible? We are going to now start holding ourselves responsible for not coming together in line with the vision and the mission of Emperor Haile Selassie, Kwame Nkrumah, inspired by Marcus Mosiah Garvey, that Africa must unite if Africa must remain and be dignified and respected. Well, the rest is story. Those who came after the first line of freedom fighters, they came from outside to induce something else into them. And they started the process of either assassinating or overthrowing the governments of those frontline diehard African patriots that we call Pan-Africanists. So that was how it all started. Now, by the early 1960s, they were giving us what we believe now were purely Greek independence. Independence without economic power. Yes, political power without economic power is zero, nothing. And that is where Africa, the richest continent on earth, the richest continent from where over 45% of the earth's resources, yes, is derived, has remained poor with its 1.5 billion people as it stands right now. So something got to change. And then when they started new countries, they came and called us into this organization that they call United Nations. United Nations was started in 1945 after the Second World War. Yes, the original name then was the League of Nations. The spearhead was the United States of America after what they call Second World War, that Africa had nothing to do with, but African soldiers, we call Buffalo soldiers, were all over the place fighting to save Europe and America. And this is where we are. So since 1945 to 2025, it has been 80 years. And out of these 80 years, Africa has been there for maybe perhaps 50 years, going to 60 years. Now, what has been achieved by the African people? Nothing but poverty. For no reason. Poverty in wanton amount of wealth. Yes. Squalor, disease, ignorance, illiteracy, lack of anything, a lack of infrastructure, lack of things that support life. But this continent, these people have what is driving the global economy. So where are we? Yeah, this is a background story before we get into the main story of the United Nations and where Africa has been with the United Nations. Are we going to continue the same old way, or we got to do something? So that is why we are calling for Africans to unite. Africans unite. Now, if you are joining us for the very first time, let me introduce myself again. My name is Smart Mado Ajaja. I am the convener of Open Nigeria and the CEO of ONN, and also the convener of Africa Unite. Today, we are reviewing Africa's position in the United Nations. 80 years after. Where is the way forward for Africa? Africa has no voice. And the United Nations, there are 5 Security Council members. And all 5 Security Council members are where? And are mostly Europeans. There's United States, there is France, there is Britain, I think is there Canada, and no, there is Russia and China. 5. Nothing for Africa. So it means that they go there to shave the hair of the African without his presence there. He doesn't even know how the color of his hair at the United Nations. Now the people of the world, is it fair? Is it fair for as long as Africans have been in that United Nations? So this is a question for the world. This is a question. This is a question for the United States. This is a question for France. This is a question for Britain. This is a question for Russia. And this is a question for China. Is it fair that Africa, that has the largest bloc of countries that come to the United Nations every year to render story of wars, pains, lack of development, war every time, hunger, starvation. We are the only one hungry. Not hungry because we don't have arable land. We are hungry because we have been exploited. We are hungry because puppets lead the continent. We are hungry because whenever an African, a good African, comes up to be a leader of an African country, they gang up and kill him. They gang up and create confusion. The most recent example, yes, I would say Robert Mugabe of Zimbabwe. Yes, Robert Mugabe, one of the smartest African leaders, yes, that existed. We know what they did to Zimbabwe, to bring Zimbabwe to where it is right now, to a point where it is difficult for the people to find food to eat, just because of one man who asked a question, who said, okay, now live by the agreement we reached when the decision to offer independence was reached. That was the problem. He only asked a question. Mugabe only asked a question. He only said, my people, majority of the people, more than 99% of the country's population were black Zimbabweans, landless black Zimbabweans. At independence, there was confusion. Many people didn't have what to do, but the country was theirs. The majority was theirs. They were black people. Zimbabwe is an African country populated by black people. There were people who came, Europeans who came to that country as overlords, and they created an apartheid system. A minority, the same thing they did in South Africa, the same thing they did in Mozambique, the same thing they did in Angola, apartheid system, yes. In Africa, yes. So he asked a question after independence. We agreed there's going to be a way to distribute this land so that my landless brothers and sisters will have land to farm on. It doesn't take a rocket science to teach people how to farm, at least an African. It may not be the large scale, but subsistence farming is what we have lived with all our lives. We know how to plant maize and to watch it germinate, and it grows. At the end of the season, we have food to eat. We were never a hungry people before the advent of the Europeans. We were never hungry before the Arabs came to Africa to wreck the continent. We never were. They make us believe that something is wrong with us. Yes. So when this man, illustrious African son, asked a question, they demonized him. They demonized him. And you know what? We all believed that they were right because we suffer from inferiority complex. We all agreed that they were right and we were all wrong. And that Mugabe was the troublesome person. We started fighting him. They destroyed the economy of Zimbabwe because of one man. Yes, a people who love the people will not destroy a country's economy because of one man. You are putting sanction on Zimbabwe, but you didn't know that the sanction will have negative, long-lasting impact on them. That was how they destroyed the Zimbabwean economy. Food vanished from shelves in Zimbabwe. There was no food to eat for the Zimbabwean people. And everybody was looking at Mugabe as the reason, because he refused to allow oppressors. Yes, they allow oppressors to seize his country's destiny. Sadly, we, the African people, saw him as the trouble. We saw him as the bad person. We didn't see from the other side. But now we've seen the light. We've got to start standing up all right. And that was what they did. Life became so hard in Zimbabwe. Food, bread, the economy, the currency was destroyed. They had their way. And eventually, the puppet that they planted started growing. They planted Shanghai. Yes. So Africans, we got to be wiser now. Yes, the same thing they did to Amilcar Cabral. Yes. The same thing they did to Sékou Touré in Guinea. When Sékou Touré refused to sign the extension of colonialism for France, France destroyed all the infrastructures they built in Guinea. They destroyed everything. They destroyed the sewage system. They did the same thing to Sékou Touré, Modibo Keita in Mali. They did the same thing. He refused to sign. Yes, he refused to sign. And they destroyed everything that they built in Mali. Yes, so that there would be confusion. The Malians now we're seeing Modibo Keita as the bad person. They did the same thing to Kwame Nkrumah in Ghana. 1950, he was on his way to a conference in the air nearing London in China. His overthrow was announced. They used a brother who was smiling at him, who saw him to the airport. Yes. General Kotoka was the puppet that they used to remove Kwame Nkrumah, the founding father, the voice of Africa. Thank God he did not die. He will never die. We now send the truth. Yes, we now send the truth. Yes. In Nigeria, they made sure that Nigeria never united. They created a terrible, right on day one. That was when Ahmadu Bello made a terrible speech, hate speech, against the Igbos. The Igbos were Nigerians. On day one, in a new country, Ahmadu Bello made that terrible speech of hate against the Igbos. It wasn't quite 5 years. Nigeria went up in flame. And we did not recover from it. 3 years of massacre of the Igbo people. 3 years of hell for the Igbo people. Yes, if you go back to the history of Nigeria, you go to 1914 Amalgamation Treaty. Yeah, you see what the British did there. Who signed the Amalgamation Treaty? There were 2 Yorubas, 2 Fulanis, 1 Kanuri, and 1 Efik. In a new territory and a new environment, with over 350 ethnic nationalities, they had to pick 2 from the Fulani race. They had picked 2 from the Yoruba race. They picked up one from the Kanuri. That's the, what's the name? The Shehu Obarono at the time. And they went to the Niger Delta. They picked up the Obango of Calabar then and Efik. It was a business. It wasn't supposed to be a country. Those were their business partners from the famed Royal Niger Company, from where Nigeria derived its name. That's the logjam. And since then, since 1914 to where we are right now, they said the amalgamation treaty was supposed to be lasting for 100 years. And that treaty ended in 2014. We could have paved a way, opened an opportunity for us to negotiate a new country. But guess what? Those people, what became Nigerians now, the descendants of the signatories to the amalgamation treaty, they now say they own Nigeria. So they have like this air of ownership of Nigeria. Yes. And since independence, since then to where we are right now, everything that happened in Nigeria, you see them represented to the detriment of the rest of Nigeria. So they built this close-knit friendship. Nigeria is a family business. One part of it from the Yoruba end, the Yoruba elites. I am not saying the whole of Yorubas. It's a family. There are two families. One was the first Yoruba lawyer. The other one was the traditional ruler from the Yoruba land. So they had this close-knit relationship with the Fulanis. Two Fulanis chosen from the Usman Dan Fodio family. Remember the story of Usman Dan Fodio? He was an invader who invaded Hausa land, killed all their kings, dethroned them, and installed his children and his followers. Those were the people. They are the people holding Nigeria hostage. If you look at, I will explain it to you. It's very easy. So if you're a Nigerian, you want to understand, don't be offended. No history is beautiful. Every people's history has a lot of bad in it. So why we are afraid of telling our history is something that makes me bleed for Nigeria. Why are we afraid of talking about it? It's our story. It's our history. So some people don't want us to talk about it. That was why they removed the study of history from our country's academic curriculum. Because the descendants of those who signed this evil amalgamation treaty that signed all of us into slavery, they don't want the role their ancestors played to be remembered. So that's why they are doing everything to obliterate the history of Nigeria. But unfortunately for them, some of us know it. And we are putting it in print. We are putting it in electronic media. So that unborn generations of Nigerians will come and listen to it. So they will not tolerate what we have tolerated so far. That must come to an end now. So if you look at what happened to Nigeria after that amalgamation, go through the constitutional developments into independence, how Tafawa Balewa became prime minister. It was not like he won an election. He didn't win. The people who won the election were not even given the opportunity to choose. Why? Because there were differences that they could not iron out. So they took advantage. The British, they handed over power to these people who now think that they own the country. Yeah, the elites of these people. It is this elites of these people that created what they call civil war, that we know as genocide. 3 unrelenting years of massacre of innocent women, children, and people of Igbo extraction. And we are happy with it. They declared no victor, no vanquish in 1970. All right, but I tell you, that war is still raging psychologically. Since then, no Igbo man can come. The Igbo people have not been admitted into the mainstream of Nigeria. When the mayhem was over, every Igbo man who had money, I'm talking like some of them were already billionaires. Remember, in those old days, Ojuku's father was already a billionaire. The first billionaire African. He was already a billionaire. When Queen Elizabeth came to Nigeria the first time, that representative of Igbo, when he came to Britain, it was Ojuku's father, his father's Rolls Royce. He was the one who handed his Rolls Royce for them to take her around wherever she wanted to go in Nigeria. So you can imagine that man at that time already had a Rolls Royce. Rolls Royce. Yes. So what happened? When they finished the killing, they decided that, okay, that's Nigeria's way of being fair. Every Igbo man who had a bank account, was given 20 pounds, 20 British pounds, 20 pounds, 20 pounds. Even if you were a millionaire or nothing, they gave them 20 pounds. 20 pounds. Yes, the same people is their descendants that are holding Nigeria hostage. Very wicked. Jim Crow. Yes, they're the ones holding Nigeria hostage. It's 2 families, 3 families. The other ones, the Shehu of Borono, yeah, okay, it's represented right now by Kashin Shetima. And then the Obong of Calabar, part of it, is represented by Akpabio. You see them? And then when you look at Bola Ahmed Tinubu, representing the Yoruba elites. And then, what? The Oni of Ife. Yeah. Ife was never known to be a kingdom in Yoruba history. We knew about your empire. You know? Yeah. So this is how they want to, why Bola Ahmed Tinubu, right now, he has a bill at the National Assembly of Nigeria. You know what they want to do? They want to make the Sultan, Fulani Sultan, illegal, fake Fulani Sultan of Sokoto, Saad Abubakar, representing Osman Danfodio descendant. All right? And the Oni of Ife, permanent co-chairman of the Nigerian Traditional Rulers Council. You know what that means? To seal what was signed in 1914, actually expired. Nigeria is an expired country. We are living in, it's a fake, it's an illegal country. But we are in there. We are still bearing that name. And that is why people like me are doing everything to make it work, to inspire the reconfiguration of Nigeria. So Nigeria will be open to all Nigerians. So those who did not have the opportunity of having their signatures appended in the illegal now expired amalgamation treaty, we have an opportunity to come, yes, as the people of Nigeria, to proclaim a real, genuine Nigeria. They don't want it. That's why they are shooting up our country, because they don't want us to have that discussion. They know that when we have that discussion, Nigeria will change, and that they will be out of business. So I want you to understand what happened to Nigeria. So that's that. Now, let's come back to United Nations. All African countries, they said independence. They returned they brought them to the UN as countries. When you are in the United Nations, you are supposed to be a sovereign country. You enjoy a high degree of sovereignty. No matter how small or big you are, you enjoy the same equal amounts of sovereignty. France, that is a small country, oppressing 14 African colonies, and even more. Yeah, you should enjoy. You should enjoy the same level of recognition and respect the United States has enjoyed. But African countries are treated like the African people are treated like trash. Yes. We support the world. We feed the world. Yes. Our oil is driving the world. Our bauxite is driving the world. Our lithium driving the world. Our diamond, gold, copper driving the world economy. But we, the people who own it, cannot access it. We are good only, they condition us to be sellers of raw materials. Yes, raw materials. You see what I'm saying? Raw materials. All right, and these raw materials, we don't even have the power to decide how much we are going to sell it. They are the ones who put the prices, and then we sell it to them. Take it or leave it. They throw it at you because we have this terrible, terrible, terrible tragedy of leadership. Yes, tragedy of leadership is the problem of Africa. Before I continue, I'm going to acknowledge some people here who are making a lot of contributions. So I don't want to ignore anybody. We thank you for joining. And again, let me make an appeal. You have helped us grow so well. Our contents are organic contents. Those listening from TikTok, follow me. Especially the younger Africans on TikTok. You got to jump in and follow me. We got to recover our country. It is our continent. It is only you Africans. Yes, everywhere. In TikTok, YouTube. It's only you and those who truly, genuinely, from their heart, from outside, who love Africa, that can recover Africa. Don't be fooled by all the illusions you see. We have a fight. We have a fight that we must fight to liberate our continent so we can be respected, so we can be dignified. Yes, so we can be the best, what we want to be. So we don't start, we will not continue to sell our raw materials at giveaway prices. Yes. So wherever you are an African, you got to listen. Now share this message. I'm not needing anything, but share this message. Let's expand this message. This is a moment of awareness. This is a time for the African Renaissance. Yes, new Africa is possible. New Africa is possible. And it will only be possible if you, me, and all of us come together to make it happen. Yes, it is only that. Don't wait. America will never come and build Africa for you. It's impossible. They have more problems to deal with. And they are looking for ways to solve their problems. So if they have an opportunity to use you to solve the problem, they will do it. And that is what it is. It's a human race thing. So now ask yourself a question. Indians come to Africa organized. All right? They bring Indian companies to do business in Africa. Okay? American companies come to do business as organized entities in Africa. British companies come to Africa to do business as organized entities. Yes. Spanish companies do the same thing. Now the Chinese are coming. They are doing the same thing. They are building infrastructure. Now ask yourself, if you're a young African, how come African companies are not anywhere in China building infrastructure? Doing whatever, if it is selling vegetable, at least they know that this is an African company selling this vegetable. Where is one? There is none. So they turn us into consumer. We open our mouth and be guzzling. But we are not asking questions. Why is it? Because we choose idiots as leaders of Africa. Idiots. That's what we choose. Whenever we have the opportunity to choose good leaders, it's not like we don't have them. We have them in abundance. We have great men and women who can turn Africa around. But whenever they come, we are the ones who tell them that they have no money. They did it to me. They have done it to so many people. I left here. I am very, very intelligent. I'm endowed in a lot of ways. The trouble of Africa can be fixed sitting down. And to a people who can listen and who are willing to make sacrifices. If you go back to how China started, at the point where they are right now. Yes, Chinese 60 years ago, when I was in elementary 3, yes, I started reading at a very young age. We were ordering books about the Chinese Revolution. I read so much about the Chinese Revolution. I'm talking about as far back as 1973. I already knew what was going on in China. We were hungry for knowledge. We were looking for ways. We are not the kind of people that we are right now. I don't know what's going on with this generation. We didn't have WhatsApp. We didn't have Instagram. We didn't have Facebook. We didn't have YouTube. We didn't have no phone. You will write a letter, it will take like 3 months. And whenever it comes, you'll be celebrating that, oh, they replied me from China. From China, they replied me. And they will send you brochures. Yes, about the Chinese Revolution. Yes, way back then. Look at where China is right now. They planned to succeed. They planned. They made sacrifices. They had leaders driven by vision. Yes, they had visionary leaders. Where are the leaders of Africa? Show me one. Perhaps with the exception of Ibrahim Traore and the one from Niger and the one from Azimi from Mali. All right. I don't know much about the young man from Senegal, but other than that, show me one African leader. You want to talk about the one in Nigeria? First of all, he did not win an election. He's a criminal that was found guilty of selling drugs in commercial quantity here. Here in the United States, Bola Ahmed Tinubu was prosecuted. He was arrested and prosecuted. The documents are there. Yes, it's not like there's anything anybody's making up. Yes. Drug dealer. Why should a drug dealer lead a country of insane people? A drug dealer. I know some people get angry because of tribalism. I'm not about any tribe. I don't care about tribe. I have no tribe. I have Nigeria. Well, where on earth in the 21st century should a drug dealer, a certificate forger, and an identity thief be leader? Yes, that's what Bola Ahmed Tinubu is. Do you know, have you ever heard about any of his brothers? He has no family, no mother, no father, nothing is known about him. The elementary school he attended, we don't know. The high school he said he attended, nobody came out to say that they were his classmates. Even the university he claimed to have attended here, University of Chicago. Yes, it's so, everything about him is like this man is from some kind of space. We don't know him. Look at what he has turned our country into. Look at Muhammadu Buhari. Muhammadu Buhari did not have a certificate, don't have WASC. They cooked up something together and brought to him. That's how they destroyed all of our country's institutions. And you find some people who are supposed to be educated lining behind these criminals instead of them standing up for the country. Nobody loves Nigeria. Nigerians hate their country. How many people love Nigeria? How many Nigerians truly love Nigeria? Even the people who say, okay, they are tribalists, they ride on the back of tribalism to get to national acclaim. What do they do for their tribes? Now, you are a Yoruba person who is watching me today. Tell me what you are benefiting from Bola Ahmed Tinubu being president of Nigeria. If actually he's a Yoruba man, it doesn't seem that he's one, but they say he is because of his name. Tell me what you are benefiting. Honestly, let's talk about this. What are you benefiting? Tribalism has to die in Nigeria. Really, you are a Muslim. Some people say they voted for him because he was a Muslim. That was what the fake Fulani Sultan in Sokoto told them to do. He reared the people there like animals. But thank God the Hausa people are rising up. Thumb up for the Hausa people. Thumb up, thumb up, thumb up, thumb up for the Hausa people. Yes, the Hausa people are waking up. You know, they have used the Hausa people for 221 years. 221 years. In 1804, when Usman Dan Fodio came, deceived them. They were Muslims before he came. He lied to them about Islam and then gave them the fake Islam, violent Islam, exploitative Islam, economic Islam, political Islam. Yes, Islam without God, Islam without spirituality. That was what he gave to them. And for those 221 years, these people have lived in bondage. But the rest of us didn't know that the people who stole their language, they speak their language, the oppressors stole their language, and they pretend that they're speaking for the North. Now I tell you, brothers and sisters, that the North exists only for the Fulani elites. The North does not exist for everybody. It exists for their benefit. But their game is over. That is why they are moving to ADC, here to form a new alliance. The whole of Nigeria is standing up. And we must stand fast, because Africa is waiting for Nigeria. Nigeria is the reason Africa is suffering. Nigeria is the reason Africa is still on the canvas. The whole of Africa is waiting for Nigeria. The day Nigeria moves, Africa will change, and it will be magical. The day Nigeria moves, the day the people of Nigeria stand up to lead Africa, you will see change everywhere. The day Nigeria will bring the best. The day Nigeria will bring the best. The day Nigeria will minimize religion. The day Nigeria will minimize tribe or tribalism. The day Nigeria will minimize regional nationalism. Nigeria wakes up. Africa has no choice but to follow. We, the people of Nigeria, are the ones stalling Africa. We are the ones. We stall them with the terrible choice of leadership that we make. We stall them by choosing criminals as leaders at all levels. Yes, let me, for the record, the problem of Nigeria is not Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It's only a small part of the Nigerian problem. We have a system problem. The Nigerian system has to die. We have to intentionally break the back of the Nigerian system. If we don't do it, all of us will die. You see what they are doing right now? They have circled our country. They have circled it. Mercenaries are operating inside Nigeria. Yes. And now they have turned our country into a country of cowards. That Nigerians are not able to unite, to come out, to call evil its name. Everybody is scared. Now you go out. You only know when you are going out. You are not sure if you are going to make it back. You send your children to school. You are not sure if Boko Haram is going to bring a bus to cut them away and then demanding ransom. When you are not able to pay, they kill them. And then they kill them, they sell their body parts. They sell organs now. They are selling hearts. They are selling kidneys. They are selling livers. In our country, things that we thought were impossible, things that we were hearing from elsewhere, they are all happening right here. Now, brothers and sisters, in order not to digress, you have WhatsApp now. You are looking at me on TikTok. You are here on YouTube. You are on Facebook. What are you doing with your Facebook? What are you doing with your TikTok? What are you doing with your WhatsApp? Are you sharing this message? You want to be free? It takes a concert, a people to come together for them to be free. You know, listen, how the Europeans came to Africa. They came together in Berlin to plan how they were going to take over Africa. And they put into action. Yeah, they were few. They were not up to 1 million people who came at the same time. What did they do? They came with a Bible in their hands, like the Arabs came with the Quran. They started telling us about God, their own way. We know God. We experienced that man they call Jesus Christ in his original form. Yes, yes. But they took the story, put politics in it, put economics in it, put fear in it, put something that we use to support them subjugating you in it. And we all hands up. They tell us to be looking up. Close your eyes. They were surveying our land for the minerals. That is why it is so difficult to ask them to leave. You see what happened? You saw what happened when Niger told France to leave. France was ready to invade Niger. Yeah, because of what they were benefiting from there. They were stealing the people's resources, giving them nothing. Their uranium was powering electricity and industries in France. Yes. And darkness is the story of the people of Niger. Darkness. They had the uranium, but they couldn't transform translate their uranium into electricity. Yes, this is how bad. Yes, and they educated us to be idiots, to be fools, to be subservient, to be slaves, to be saying yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, no question. Yes, that's why we are suffering. But we are at the moment. We must take hold. We have some of the best scientists scattered all over the earth. Why can't we? Now it's compelling. Why? What is the reason we cannot unite Africa? What is it? Is it Islam? Is it Christianity that is standing between you and your brothers? Is it your tribe, what you speak? But we are united by poverty. Yes, everything about us is sorry. The people who come to our continent to steal from us, they turn around and give us what they stole from us and say they are giving us aid. How on earth will someone give you what is stole from you and you are jubilating and you even expect it that you have to be given aid? Instead of educating your people, yes, educate them around who they are and then make them know how to explore and question their environment. We never question our environment. See, people travel for thousands of miles to question the African environment. We who are there are living like animals in the jungles. It's time. We stand. It's time. It's time we change that mindset. The key thing is leadership. I know about Nigeria so well. Everything about Nigeria is transactional now. Idiots with stolen money come. They are the ones that they recognize as leaders. Good people will come with strategies that they can explain about how they can turn things around without spending a lot of money, without spending a lot of resources. No, they will not. The people of Nigeria will look the other way and collect money. They are always hungry. They claim it's poverty. Poverty is the reason why Nigeria is way. 64 years after, you have no roads. You can't boast of 24-hour electricity. You can't boast of 24-hour water in every home. Nothing. Everybody is now digging up boreholes. They are digging. They don't even know the consequences of all the boreholes that they are sinking in Nigeria. One day, Nigeria is going to cave in, earthquake. Then we don't even have the resources to manage the emergencies that are coming. Yet the same people, I come from the Niger Delta in Nigeria. Come and see environmental degradation. Come and see pollution. Come and see the pollution of our waters. Our people don't have access to what used to drive their economy. Our people were fishermen, farmers. They can't farm. They can't fish anymore. They are dying of various strange diseases that nobody knows anything about. Yes, but these criminals from outside Nigeria will come and take everything away. Who cares? After all, you're a black ass. Yes. It's our choice. It's our fault. We are responsible for what is happening. And that is why you young generation, the younger generation of Africans, you got a work to do. And this work has been cut easy for you. You have people, Professor Patrick Lumumba travels around the country, the continent speaking. Can you ever bother yourself? You live in Europe. You live in America, right? Especially those who live in Europe. Europe is so small. Europe, Democratic Republic of Congo is bigger than the whole of Europe. Yes, Democratic Republic of Congo, bigger than the whole of Europe. Europe has nothing. They are landlocked. Yeah, that small country, that country not small, is bigger. That country has about the richest country on earth. Now what is their fate? War, strife, death. Yes, because of some brothers, black people like you and I, who cannot come together to say, look, we can solve this problem ourselves. Do you know how painful and how annoying it is for the leaders from Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Rwanda to board a plane, bypass Addis Ababa, the headquarters of the United African Union, and then came over 10,000 miles to the United States, to Washington, to settle their difference in the presence of President Donald Trump? Yes. You know how disgraceful that is? It means that we, Africans, are a people who cannot solve problems. We cannot address our own issue. Why did we need Donald Trump to solve African problem. Yes. And in the end, some people gave up the mineral rights to their country. And I tell you, you're going to start fighting another war tomorrow to ask them to leave. Yes, because that's how it goes. That is how it goes. Every country should develop its own survival strategy. So you don't blame the people who come to your place because you at home refuse to take care of business at home. So when you make yourself vulnerable, people will definitely take advantage of you. Call it undue. That's your business. So that is what is bringing us to the story, the discussion of today. I just wanted to have, you are an African. Some of you don't even know history. You don't know the history of it. You are, a lot of them, you are not interested. Once you have this, your iPhone, you start texting, doing all kinds of things. No, there are a lot more. People made these things happen. There's no reason why Africa cannot even actually build its own Facebook. All right, so that when they turn off their thing, we won't die. Because that is where we are going. And that was what happened to Zimbabwe. They turned off the economic key of Zimbabwe because, you know, Zimbabwe was not allowed to develop its own economic blueprint. So when they turned off the tap, everything dried up. It was instant, and the people started rebelling. They rebelled against Mugabe. But thank God for the knowledge that we gained from them. That was why they were not able to do the same thing with Ibrahim Traore some few months ago when the whole of Africa decided to come together to say, no, we have had enough. I wish we can carry that spirit. I wish we can carry that spirit to every country in Africa. I wish every African country will behave like that. We have the type of leaders that will galvanize the people the way the Ibrahim Traore magic brought the whole of Africa together. It was so heartwarming to see the whole of Africa coming together as one. So are we going to end it with that? Is it going to end there, or are we going to work? And I'm talking to my brothers and sisters in Nigeria. We have a big problem in Nigeria. Big, big, big problem. Really big, big problem. Like I said before, I am a Nigerian. I'm not ashamed. I'm proud to be a Nigerian, but I'm not proud of Nigeria the way it is right now. So let's get that straight. Yes, I am not proud that a criminal is the president of Nigeria. I am not proud that a terrorist, you know, the vice president of Nigeria is a terrorist with ties to Boko Haram. They know this. They know this. The whole world knows this. Yes. In his house, those who bombed the United Nations building in 2011 were arrested in his house. I'm talking about Kashim Shettima. Those who bombed the United Nations building in 2011 and killed a lot of people were arrested in his house. What were banned terrorists doing in his house? All right? And today is rogue vice president of Nigeria. And the people of Nigeria went to sleep. As usual. You know, Nigerians, we are very good at adjusting to pains. We adjust to hell. We love, I don't know what it is with us. This is not the Nigerian of my generation. In my generation of Nigerians, we faced soldiers. We battled them. We were not scared of them. We made them know you are Nigerians too. And we are fighting for you. Some of them now back down. But those ones with the evil intention, driven by tribalism and religious nationalism, yes, they were the ones who would go and be shooting people. Yes. So the people of Nigeria, we have a problem. And that problem, only me, you, and all of us will solve it. Britain, who created it, will never come to solve it because they love to see Nigeria divided and being held. So they will come and move in. The plan for real, what is the latest now is they want to recolonize Africa. When I mean recolonize Africa, they will recolonize this and they will not leave like they left before. I don't even say they left. They didn't leave. But this time, they will colonize the place for keeps. Yes. The colonizers will come back as investors. And they never play right. Because they have no respect for you. They will always throw trash at you and make it look like that is best for you. So it's time. It's time. It is time. So now, back to the United Nations. We're here at the United Nations. Every African country is coming. Yes, this is the season of making speeches at the UN. Nice season. The whole world comes. And 54 African countries will come and speak. President after president will speak. What do they speak? They speak about wars. They speak about pains. They speak about arrest of development. They speak about terrorism. They speak about banditry, like Nigeria, my place. Well, I'm going to take some of the speeches so you hear what is going on. I'm going to take speeches from at least 3 African countries, speeches from their heads of state, so you can hear yourself about what. I'm going to, first of all, take a speech from Ibrahim Traore from Burkina Faso. So listen very carefully and very attentively to that speech. And after that, I'm going to take one speech from the president. All right, Nigeria. Okay, my country. All right. And I'm going to take another, maybe 2 more, because I want you to hear yourself. And one good thing about the speeches is that there seems to be an agreement that something has to change about the representation Africa is getting or not getting. There's a unanimity in the call for giving Africa a permanent seat at the United Nations Security Council. Even one of them, Ruto, one of the worst terrible leaders in Africa from Kenya, was boasting that, I know it's a joke, it's a piece of shit joke, President Ruto of Kenya, that he will lead Africa out of the United Nations. That would have been great, because they have no business being there. Nobody is benefiting anything. No African country is benefiting anything from the United Nations. When they bring their soldiers to be peacekeepers like they did in Congo before they were driven away, their peacekeepers got involved with digging oil mineral resources at the expense of keeping peace. So they started working with the militias, yes, who were using illegal mining of minerals to support their mayhem in the country. So that's how terrible the United Nations is. Honestly, I was very happy. Actually, I'm going to bring a speech from President Donald Trump, how he condemned the United Nations. Great job he did on that, seriously. I have no faith in that messed up organization. A United Nations that will see people being massacred in Nigeria, they are being massacred in Gaza, and they are not able to take a resolute stand about what is taking place. It's a sad organization. I think it's either that the United Nations shapes up or it be dismantled, because it's not solving any problem. Truly, it's creating more problems for the people of the world. But listen to the speech by the Burkina Prime Minister on behalf of President Ibrahim Traore.
The Assembly will hear an address by His Excellency Rim Chalba San Emmanuel Ouedraogo, Prime Minister and Head of Government of Burkina Faso. I request protocol to escort His Excellency and invite him to address the Assembly.
Yeah, Emmanuel Ouedraogo, Prime Minister of Burkina Faso, taking the stage to address the United Nations General Assembly.
Madam President, Secretary General of the United Nations, Heads of Delegation, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor and privilege to address you on behalf of President Captain Ibrahim Traoré, President of Burkina Faso, Head of State, during this session to convey the voice of the dignified, honest people of Burkina Faso. I would therefore like to convey fraternal greetings to you, to all citizens of the world committed to peace and freedom. Madam President, on behalf of Burkina Faso, I would like warmly to congratulate you upon your election to the presidency of this, the 80th session. Your election bears witness to the trust of the international community in your leadership, your ability to listen to other views, and to dialogue. In Burkina Faso, you will find a sincere, constructive, and committed partner. I would also like to express my gratitude to your predecessor, Mr. Philemon Yang. My gratitude for the high quality and rigor of the work he undertook during the previous session. Madam President, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, Burkina Faso fully aligns itself with the statement delivered on behalf of the Alliance of Sahel States by the Republic of Mali, together with Niger as well. We belong to a community of aspirations in a forum of renaissance and breaking with the past. Secretary General, Burkina Faso would like to pay tribute to the work of the UN system and its partners in this common quest for stability and prosperity. The present meeting, which is being held 80 years after the adoption of the United Nations Charter, is a suitable opportunity for us to take stock candidly of what our organization has achieved. And that is what the topic for this meeting suggests that we do. Better together, 80 years and more for peace, development, and human rights. This is fully relevant in light of our mutual commitment to bring about a world that is more just and to build more effective multilateralism. It is therefore part of this approach that should guide every nation, every sub-regional, regional, and international group. This is the oak anniversary after 80 years that should really lead for us to carry out an introspective assessment of what we have achieved. Rather than being a cause for celebration, this anniversary is in fact akin to looking at an embarrassing fiasco, a collective disappointment, and a structural. There have been some achievements. There is rather a negative backdrop as a result of 8 decades of optimism that have been sorely put to the test, 8 decades of disappointment, 8 decades of shattered dreams, 8 decades of failure to meet the moment, in a nutshell. That is unfortunately the bleak picture of a UN.
Hey, Whitney Burton, thank you very much for joining. Appreciate it.
If they were still alive, would have struggled to accept. It is therefore difficult to celebrate given such a mixed backdrop to this anniversary. How can we understand the fact that Africa, the cradle of humanity, and where there are so many conflicts, and which represents more than 1 billion human beings, remains excluded from the Security Council's decision-making bodies? How can we accept the fact that peacekeeping missions, financed to the tunes of billions of dollars, are leaving our countries in the lurch and are leaving behind frustration and suffering rather than tangible results? The causes of this collective failure are well known to all, notably the member states themselves, who, after 8 decades, have, within this General Assembly, devoted their energies to defend noble causes and to propose realistic reforms without being successful in this quest. What can we do if the decisions of the General Assembly, which are not binding, are simply making it irredeemably inaudible and ineffective? Could we expect the Security Council to be more successful when it is tarnished by politicization and when it is powerless as a result of its inconsistencies and ineffective because of its permanent division? What is even worse is that this Council, whose role today is misused, the Council is in fact a troublemaker as a result of the tacit, underhand and sometimes active complicity of some of its permanent members.
Absolutely.
Who are themselves major actors and financiers of the crises of our time. That is what the Security Council has become. It has become a pernicious body which, as a result of the predatory behavior of some of its permanent members, they can decide which country will be on the Council's agenda, in which other country peacekeeping operations can be sent, as if to better legitimize their role. We are therefore powerless in the face
Hey Keith, how are you? Thank you very much.
Failure of initiatives which are nevertheless good ideas as a result of the rivalries between states and the unresolved crises that are so numerous, the most emblematic of which is the conflict between Israel and Palestine, which has lasted too long. The sinful inaction of the international community in the face of the lack of trust and the authority of states which have been undermined by terrorists. It is time for an awakening and for bold reforms, without which the Security Council will remain an anachronistic institution and will not be able to meet the moment.
Nobody should belong to that UN anymore.
In a world that is changing rapidly as a result of rapid digital change and the persistence of geopolitical tensions, it is critical that we reconsider our economic development strategies. International trade can no longer be conceived through rigid schemas and imbalanced models that have been imposed upon us. Rather, it should be focused on strengthening economic autonomy, local use of resources, and promoting genuine social justice. It has been recognized today that lasting prosperity involves proactive industrialization policies, maximizing the value of raw materials and creating decent jobs, notably for young people. That is why we urgently need to break with the cycle of dependence on the export of raw materials. This is a model that increases our vulnerability and is a permanent brake on our emergence. In Burkina Faso, presidential initiatives bear witness to this determination to build a productive, inclusive, and resilient economy which can bring new horizons for our citizens. That is why my country reaffirms its commitment to building a fairer multilateral trade system based on international solidarity and making the most of scientific progress, technological advancement and innovation, which are genuine levers for shared, lasting development. Madam President, like other nations in the Sahel, my country is going through one of the most testing times in its history. For almost a decade now, Burkina Faso has been attacked by terrorists supported by dark forces. These groups are coveting our resources. They are trying to shatter our sovereignty and impose the law of chaos. But rather than resigning ourselves to these fates, we have chosen to stand up with dignity and resistance. Under the leadership of our President, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, we decided to take our destiny in our own hands by mobilizing our defense and security forces.
You did a great job.
Supported by volunteers for defending the fatherland, who are genuine heroes, by building up the Patriotic Support Fund, which is fueled by our citizens' voluntary contributions and contributions from our diaspora and friends of our country throughout the world. Since 2023, this fund has collected more than 413 billion CFA francs, which is startling proof of the patriotic spirit and unity of our people.
Wow.
By carrying out historic reforms to achieve food sovereignty, to restore our lands, and to relaunch our agricultural production, and to reduce our dependence on imports. These efforts that our determined people have undertaken are now bearing fruit. More than 72% of our territory has been recovered. Thousands of internally displaced people are going back home.
Wow.
Schools are reopening and social services are now resuming.
Imagine.
Burkina Faso is thus showing that united people can overcome even the toughest challenges. Burkina Faso hereby wishes to
30% of the country's
fully
territory in the hands of terrorists,
priorities
backed by France.
are negotiable, and that its choices must be respected more than ever before.
No.
Mesdames et messieurs,
Ladies and gentlemen, our activities are aligned with the virtues of solidarity and unity. We are deeply convinced that a people brought together around a common ideal can achieve great things. The efforts undertaken by our fellow citizens within the country and in the diaspora, as well as their enthusiastic commitment to the momentum we've created, reaffirm that we've made the right choice, and this under the leadership of Comrade President of Burkina Faso, very terrible. The enthusiasm carried by the Patriotic Support Fund and the Presidential Initiative Faso Mebo is an excellent illustration of this. Established in 2023 in support of the Action Plan for Stabilization and Development, the Patriotic Support Fund aims to mobilize additional national resources, endogenous resources, so as to build our defense and strategic investment capacity. This fund has secured large-scale backing both within the country and in the diaspora. Madam President, the methodical pursuit of our reforms has meant that today we've made significant headway on economic governance. We have better control over public spending, we've optimized management of the state's human resources, we've streamlined institutional spending, and our debt levels are viable. These efforts can also be seen in a more equitable distribution of our national wealth, ensuring that the vast resources we have in Burkina Faso fully benefit our citizens, benefit our prosperity, instead of flowing to external interests or the representatives they're on within the country.
They have taken their destiny in their hands. Thumb up for Ibrahim Traore.
Government has taken action across all sectors of socio-economic development, and this has brought noteworthy successes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why we are astonished by the condescending stance of certain UN agencies who feel it within their rights to meddle in our national debate using biased narratives which are divorced from the reality on the ground. We unequivocally reject the report entitled Children and Armed Conflict in Burkina Faso, which is peppered with counter-truths and the very title of which demonstrates semantic manipulation. I would like to use this opportunity to commend the courage of our combatants and to pay tribute to military and civilian martyrs who honorably gave their lives in defense of our sovereignty. Madam President, we've always stated that terrorism is being used as a pretext, a convenient pretext, for certain states to pillage African resources. Thus, our countries are being confronted with terrorism.
Yeah.
These terrorists being the troops of predatory foreign armies. Some states are no longer hiding this fact. They are publicly proclaiming their support provided to these criminals. A case in point is France.
Yep.
The Macron regime's public media, in addition to the daily disinformation it offers, has become a mouthpiece for the communication of these criminal
France.
perpetrators.
That's why it's going down.
Cowardly, barbaric attacks committed against our peaceful citizens. On this note, we'd like to reiterate our call for a response to be given to the request submitted on the 20th of August 2024 by the member states of the Confederation of Sahel States. This was addressed to the Security Council. To this day, this request has gone unanswered. This ongoing silence further discredits this institution, leaving doubts about its implicit connivance. What's even more concerning is the fact that some members of the Security Council are continuing to trample over Resolution 1373, which is actually binding. This resolution imposes the suppression of terrorism financing, strengthening border controls, and enhanced international cooperation. In the Sahel, we've taken note of this reality. As a result, we've adapted our security arrangements to the reality on the ground, in addition to revising our modalities of cooperation with certain countries. Madam President, we remain convinced that the United Nations should be the framework for dialogue and cooperation.
You're listening to the speech
But what we're calling for is
from the president of Burkina Faso, represented by the Prime Minister.
Equality and genuine solidarity. Ladies and gentlemen, confronted with common threats and external interference, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger have pooled our forces so as to establish the Confederation of Sahel States. The ASS is not a retreat, it's not a way of turning inwards, not at all. It is us asserting that we have the right to determine what happens to us, to pinpoint our own priorities, and to craft regional cooperation that exclusively serves our people. This choice is a matter of dignity. We are refusing a system whereby our countries were all too often used as a territory for the maneuvering by foreign players in pursuit of foreign agendas. It is our willingness to be the agents of our history, to write ourselves the future our children will live out. The ASS is in keeping with the fight of Pan-African figures such as Thomas Sankara, Patrice Lumumba, and Kwame Nkrumah. Today, a new generation of leaders is taking up the baton. Firmly convinced, and this conviction brimming with inspiration, the inspiration given by the father of the August 1983 revolution, the idea that only struggle liberates. Madam President, Africa, for 80 years now, has sought to claim its legitimate place on the Security Council. It is high time to deeply reform our organization. Specifically, what we need is to introduce a bold Security Council reform, granting Africa a permanent seat on the Council. We must also improve resource management to make the United Nations more effective, to bring it closer to the people it claims to serve. We must also staunchly address the structural causes of international injustice, whether that be terrorism that's been instrumentalized by some, the embargo on Cuba, sanctions against Venezuela, Russia, Nicaragua, inter alia, and the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, the impasse that surrounds it. There's also the role to be played by China in our future. There is also the specific case of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. We'd like to reiterate our unswerving support to the Venezuelan people, which for decades has suffered campaigns of isolation, illegal sanctions, and constant provocations. Faced with this flagrant interference in the sovereign affairs of this nation and this economic attack, which has disastrous humanitarian consequences, we'd like to express our solidarity with this country, Venezuela. Venezuela, which is resisting with dignity so as to maintain its right to craft its own destiny, free from ultimatums and foreign diktats. We appeal to reason and to diplomacy to end all hostile actions directed against Venezuela. Mr. Secretary General, I would now like to address you. It is high time for our organization to change paradigms, because today the United Nations finds itself in the same situation as the defunct League of Nations. The UN isn't able to make its voice heard, to ensure that its own principles are upheld. It's not capable of ensuring compliance with its decisions and resolutions by the powers that be. It's incapable of ensuring respect for international law, of settling many conflicts, or ensuring that it lives up to the task of addressing current current challenges. Mr. Secretary General, you have an excellent opportunity to go down in history by shouldering your responsibilities to enact an in-depth transformation of the United Nations, on which so many hopes were pinned when it was established. You have the support of millions of people the world over to turn the organization into a genuine guarantor of peace and security.
Absolutely. That was the original reason it was found.
Domination in the hands of whoever is
But
currently the mightiest.
sadly, it was hijacked.
Pressure, despite all the power
The United Nations, a useless
have
organization.
the ingenuity to liberate the organization and to ensure it is up to the task of our common ambition. Madam President, turning to development issues, Burkina Faso applauds the holding of the 4th International Conference on Financing for Development. It is our hope that the conclusions drawn in Seville will contribute to the advent of a financial architecture that's more equitable, which respects the sovereignty of states and support genuine transformation of developing countries. In a similar vein, it's absolutely vital to address the factors which serve as a brake on the full implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals, which are supposed to enact positive transformation in our world under the auspices of the United Nations. Ladies and gentlemen, 80 years after the penning of the UN Charter,
80 years, wasted 80 years, nothing achieved, except for those who drive it for themselves and for their strategic, geopolitical, economic interests. The United Nations is a disaster, disgrace.
This is a source of concern for the future, but it is not too late to give the impetus to our common hope, the impetus it currently lacks. Burkina Faso, true to its Pan-Africanist heritage, would like to reiterate its faith in renewed, fair and equitable multilateralism. We will resolutely defend our sovereignty and our dignity. However, we will also stretch out our hands to all nations enamored of justice, freedom and solidarity. Long live the United Nations Organization, a reformed organization, a credible organization. Long live the Confederation of Sahel States. Long live Burkina Faso, a dignified, sovereign country standing firmly on our 2 feet. Motherland or death, we shall prevail.
Motherland or death. Strong words. Motherland or death. Or death. That was the speech read on behalf of the president of Burkina Faso, brother, comrade Ibrahim Traore, statesman. Yes, no joking, no mincing words. We need right now more Ibrahim Traore everywhere in Africa. 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 Say more Ibrahim Traore everywhere in Africa. More Ibrahim Traore everywhere in Africa. More Ibrahim Traore everywhere in Africa. Yes, are you a youth of Africa? See, that young man belongs to your generation. He should be a fulcrum. Yes, he should be a driving force for the new Africa. Yes, he's a reincarnate of Thomas Sankara, Emperor Haile Selassie I, Kwame Nkrumah, Modibo Keita, Abdel Nasser, Sekou Touré. Yes, Jomo Kenyatta. Yes, Julius Nyerere, all rolled in one man. Yes, we need more of that. We need more of him. If we have 20 Ibrahim Traore right now as we speak, for a start, the oppressors will have more than enough work to do, because they will be having 20 strategies to plan. Yes, Africa, unite. That is what Kwame Nkrumah said. That was what Bob Marley put in song. That's what Marcus Mosiah Garvey started. That was what Jomo Kenyatta wanted. That was what Julius Nyerere wanted. That was what Sekou Touré wanted. Yes, Modibo Keita, Abdel Nasser. Yes, Samora Machel, and later Nelson Mandela. We need that. Yes, don't forget Brother Robert Mugabe. Yes, they wanted all this because they knew that a day like this would come. They knew, they were very visionaries, very, very visionary. They knew that Africa would be troubled by those who were returned by the force of arms. Remember what they did to the young man in Congo, Patrice Lumumba, for raising a finger, for asking a question, for wanting to lead his people the right way. Little Belgium came, massacred over 12 million Congolese. Yes, I am saying it, Little Belgium, not even the size of my hometown in Nigeria. Massacred over 12 million Congolese. And nobody held Belgium accountable. Why? Because Belgium belonged to the League of Oppressors, whose industrial revolution became a global emergency that required and needed Africa's cheap labor and African raw materials to drive. Times are changing, and Africa must move with the changing times. Africa must develop its own survival strategy. Africa must be given access, or we demand an access, to the global world. We will not allow ourselves to be treated as a conquered people. We will not allow Africa to be another, in this generation, to be another vassal. We have come to the end of the vassal African state. We want a united Africa with one economy, an Africa without borders, Africa with one reserve bank. Yes, Africa with one set of political leaders, Africa with one security blueprint, and Africa with one military. You get that right? They don't want it, but they will not have any choice. Yes, they don't have any choice. We must take it. It is for us to take right now. And that is why the African people must come together, put pressure on those crazy leaders, those who are crazy like the ones in Nigeria. Yes, Nigeria is a terrible, terrible country with great country with a terrible leadership. We cannot tolerate them anymore. It's not about tribe. It's about our future. It's about our country that we must save right now. Our country that is in trouble. Now, let me take my time to actually appreciate all you guys who came here. Princess, thank you very much. There's a lot of messages out here. Thank you, Ricky. Thank you very much for joining. Yes, we need one Africa. Yes, they are afraid. Absolutely. Yes. Is that the Ethiopian flag? Well, Ethiopia is Africa. That's a question from Mirko Stakik. Okay, all right. Ethiopian flag, that's Rastafarian flag. You see the lion out there. Well, originating from Ethiopia. So it's one people, one destiny, one love. All right. Paul Starr, it's positive talk. Thank you. Respect, Freedom Media. We appreciate you. Yes. Thank you. You say you respect my knowledge. God bless. I and I. Yes. Davis, good evening, bro. Hey, David Cole, how are you? Nice to see you again. Nice to see you again, man. Kosovo is Serbia. Well, that is, I don't know much about that. If that's what you say, that is what you say. Hagos, the guy from Ethiopia. Are you a Christian nationalist? Specifically, Orthodox Christian nationalist? I'm a Rasta man, all right? That's what I am. I wonder why. Okay, now one question from my brother Hago. Can you speak Russian? Because I don't understand you. I wish I could speak Russian. But I know that this thing can be translated in Russia. So you can listen to the Russian print. Yeah, definitely. So after the stream, we have it translated into various word languages, so you will understand clearly what I am saying. All right, Freedom. Bola Tinubu is originally not from Nigeria. Absolutely. Absolutely. We know that he's not a Nigerian because we don't know anything about his family. Yes, 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 yes. And um, HTF. Yes. All right, all right. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, all right. African media. I'm surprised. Are you not able to come to open your page for people to contribute? Okay, okay. The page is open, to contribution. So I don't understand, But if you can make what you are trying to say more clear, then I will be able to address it specifically. Yeah, BDRU, 231 years. Freedom, like Colin, yes, absolutely. Freedom for the Hausa people. We are tired of them in chains because their chain is killing Nigeria. That the Hausa people in Nigeria in chains put all of us in danger. It put all of us in chain. So that is why the whole of us must rise up. We must not see it as an Hausa only struggle. It is our struggle. It is our struggle because they are our brothers and sisters. Anything that is harming them harms us. We must not behave the way we behaved some years ago, 60 years ago, when they jumped on the Igbo people. All of us kept quiet and believed that it was a civil war. But I'm happy now that everybody is seeing now what is happening, that these people mean to destroy Nigeria. And their mission is to seize the whole of West African sub-region. You see what is taking place in Sudan. They are the ones responsible for what is the fire that is burning in Sudan. They succeeded in taking over Mauritania. You see, they destroyed Mauritania and then named it Islamic Republic of Mauritania. So that's what they are doing. They have driven all the original black people from Mauritania outside their country. I met one Mauritanian 10 years ago, and he was telling me, he said, Mado, you got to be careful. The people you are dealing with, Fulani elites, they are very dangerous. They want everything in Nigeria. They want to wreck Nigeria. And this has been the case. So anybody dealing with these crazy Fulani elites here, but the children of Osman and Fodio, well, you are cutting fire. That is why I have to warn Peter Obi. Let me make it very clear right now, so it won't be like we did not say it. He said, what he's doing with the El Rufai, we don't know. Some people are calling it wisdom. I don't see any wisdom in dealing with a terrorist, a man who brought mercenary into his country to destabilize it. And that man belongs to jail. He belongs to hell. He belongs to the Hague. For Peter Obi to be hobnobbing with him, and then when I said it earlier, his obedience started attacking and kicking. But I am going to make a special broadcast on that. I am a citizen of Nigeria. He doesn't love Nigeria more than I do. When I see anything that violates me as a Nigerian, I'm going to say it. No sentiment, no tribe involved, no religious biases. We want the best for our country. Only the best will lead Nigeria. We have over 250 million Nigerians. So why do you have to deal with a terrorist? Why do you have to? El Rufai has become inconsequential. For any person who understands what the rebellion that is brewing from the Hausa people, have no business dealing with the El Rufai. He's a non-entity. Yes, it's a terrorist. He belongs to jail. He belongs to prison. He belongs outside Nigeria. He's not a Nigerian. So any person who loves Nigeria will not pay terrorists to kill the people. For the 8 years he was governor, they were destroying the people in Kaduna, and he was paying the terrorists money. Yes, he was paying them money. I was surprised the other day, a few days ago, somebody sent me a video clip where El Rufai was accusing Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the rogue president of Nigeria, of paying terrorists. The same thing he did. He paid them. They pay terrorists in Nigeria. Instead of sending them to hell, they pay them. That is why Nigeria deserves to be demolished for us to rebuild. That is where I stand. All right, Nigeria has over 230 million people and over 200 ethnic groups. Yes, it is sad. Yeah, that is exactly. 230 million is an understatement. The reason is because we cannot count and count correctly. All right, I tell you that it's much more than that. Okay, so the people troubling Nigeria, they use all this as antics. Yeah, their game is over. Their game is over. Game over. Yes. Anthony Wosu, thank you very much. So let us continue. Let us continue to work. Let us continue to work. Dominic Godwin, Oh, yeah, hey, how are you? Great to see you here. Share this message. If you have not subscribed to our channel, take this opportunity to subscribe. If you have not followed me on TikTok, take this minute to follow me. I am a revolutionary. So you see me, I come to bring this message of hope, liberation, and freedom for the people of Nigeria and the whole of Africa. And anywhere that is trouble, people are being repressed. You hear my voice. Share this message. It uplifts people. This was the same thing Robert Nesta Marley did, and his message has continued to be relevant. So now, with that, I'm going to take. You're going to listen to the speech by the terrorist vice president of Nigeria. Listen to his speech on behalf of Ebola. The fact is 60 years have passed and basic infrastructure not still in place. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Now, let's listen to the rogue from Nigeria. I would play as many as I would, if not for the constraint of time. All right, we're going to be listening to Kashim Shettima, the rogue vice president of Nigeria, speaking, bringing a message to the drug dealer occupying Nigeria illegally. All right, let's go.
The Assembly will hear an address by His Excellency Kashim Shettima, Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I request the protocol to escort His Excellency and invite him to address the Assembly.
19 minutes. All right, let's listen to the terrorist vice president of Nigeria, Kashim Shettima. Yes.
Madam President, Mr. Secretary General, Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, distinguished eminence.
This is how ridiculous the United Nations has become. A man in whose house they are building in Nigeria, the United Nations building in Nigeria was bombed. And over 30 people were killed. The man in whose house the bombers were arrested is now standing on the podium of the United Nations to address its 80th General Assembly. What a shame. What a disgrace. What a United Nation. Is this a United Nation? They ought to have arrested him for the role he played in the bombing of the United Nations building. This was the man who created Boko Haram, a terrorist organization that is destroying Nigeria. He's standing on the podium today, on the United Nations podium, to address the world. Listen to him.
The shadows are old is a reminder that we cannot afford the luxury of inaction. We have been consumed by our differences, and there have been no community such as this to remind us that we are one human family. Even in our darkest hours, we have refused to be broken. This community was born from the ashes of despair, a vehicle for order, and for the shared assurance that we could not afford to falter again. Our belief in this community is not a posture of moral superiority, but an undying faith in the redemption of humanity. It is therefore with profound humility that I stand before you today as Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria on behalf of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to renew this pledge on behalf of my country. Madam President, Nigeria joined the Committee of Nations in congratulating you on your election as the President of the General Assembly for the 80th session, and assure you of our unalloyed support during your tenure. I commend your predecessor, my brother, His Excellency Philemon Young, and the Secretary General, His Excellency Antonio Guterres, for their outstanding stewardship and unified leadership during these extraordinary times. This anniversary will not be a sentimental retreat into nostalgia. It must be a moment of hope. A pause to measure where we have stumbled and how we might have done better in turning our values into action that meets the demands of today. We are here to deliver a world of peace and development while the respect for human rights is paramount. We must recalibrate the delicate balance between our roles as sovereign governments and our duties as collective partners to renew multilateralism in a world that has evolved far beyond what it was in 1945. The pace of change across borders is a force without force. It manifests in the tools of technology, in the movements of information and finance, in the corrosive ideologies that breed violence and division, in the gathering storm of the climate emergency.
Hey, thank you, Carl Fizz, Foxy 8. Thank you. You made it. You made it. Thank you very much.
When we speak of nuclear disarmament, the proliferation of small weapons, Security Council reform, fair access to trade and finance, and the conflicts and human suffering across the world, we must recognize the truth. These are stains on our collective humanity. For all our careful diplomatic language, the slow pace of progress on these hardy perennials of the UN General Assembly debate has led some to look away from the multilateral model.
Let me work on the sound. Yeah.
Years ago, I noticed a shift like this gathering. Key events were beginning to take place outside this hall, and the most sought after voices were no longer heads of state. These are indeed troubling times. Nigeria remains firmly convinced of the merits of multilateralism. But to sustain that conviction, we must show that existing structures are not set in stone. We must make real change. Change that works, and change that is seen to work. If we fail, the direction of travel is already prepared. We are here to strengthen the prospect for peace, development, and human rights. Madam President, I want to make 4 points.
Human rights. Nigeria talking about human rights.
One, Nigeria must have a permanent seat in the UN Security Council. This should take place.
Did you hear that? Nigeria must have a permanent seat at the UN Security Council. Nigeria led by terrorists, him, a symbol of terrorism. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a symbol of drug dealing that has destroyed thousands of families. He operated for many years between Gary, Indiana, and Illinois. He was arrested and prosecuted. Why are we in this time in Nigeria? Why are criminals making a demand on behalf of the people of Nigeria? Let's continue this.
This should take place as part of a wider process of institutional reform. 2, we need urgent action to promote sovereign debt relief and access to trade and finance. 3, countries that host minerals must benefit from those minerals. And 4, the digital divide must close. As our friend the Secretary General has said, AI must stand for Africa inclusive. On my first point, the United Nations will recover its relevance only when it reflects the world as it is. As it was. Nigeria.
Can you imagine a terrorist speaking on behalf of Nigeria?
When the UN was founded, we were a colony of 20 million people. Absent from the tables were decisions about our trade were taken. Today we are a sovereign nation of 236 million people, projected to be the third most populous country in the world.
When did you do the census?
Most dynamic populations on earth. A stabilizing force in regional security and a consistent partner in global peace making.
Wow.
Our case for permanency as the Security Council demand for fairness, for representation, and for reform that restores credibility to the very institution upon which the hope of multilateralism rests. This is why Nigeria stands firmly behind the UN-80 initiative of the UN Secretary General and the resolution adopted by this Assembly on 18th July 2025. A bold step to reform the wider United Nations system for greater relevance, efficiency, and effectiveness in the face of unprecedented financial strain. We support the drive to rationalize structures and end the duplication of responsibilities and programs so that this institution may speak with one voice and act with greater coherence. Madam President, Africa, none of us in this world can function peacefully in isolation. This is the heavy burden of sovereignty. Sovereignty is a covenant of shared responsibility, a recognition that our survival is bound to the survival of others. To live up to this charge, we must work hand in hand with our neighbors and partners. We must follow the trails of weapons, of money, and of people. For this, our forces, too often driven by faceless non-state actors, ignite the fires of conflict across our region. Madam President, Nigeria's soldiers and civilians carry a proud legacy. They have participated in 51 out of 60 United Nations peacekeeping operations since our independence in 1960. We have stood with our partners in Africa to resolve conflicts, and we continue that commitment today through the multinational joint task force. At home, we confront the scourge of insurgency with results.
The insurgency you created.
Struggle with violent extremism.
Oh.
One truth stands clear.
Oh my God.
Military tactics.
Can you imagine this man?
In months and years. But in wars that span generations, it is values and ideas that deliver the ultimate victory. We are despised by terrorists because we choose tolerance over terrorism. Their ambition is to divide us and to poison our human.
We are despised by terrorists. This man is a terrorist. This man is a terrorist. This rogue is a terrorist. He was the founder of Boko Haram. So we are despised by terrorists. All right? And divided by their antics. Listen, the people of the world, listen.
Humanity with a toxic reaction from Earth.
What?
Our difference is the distance between shadow and light.
Wow.
Between despair and hope.
Wow.
Between the ruin of anarchy and the promise of order. We do not only fight wars, we keep and shelter the innocent victims.
Jay!
This is why we are not indifferent to the devastations of our neighbors near and distant.
Wow.
This is why we speak of the violence and aggression visited upon innocent
Wow.
civilians in Gaza, the illegal attack on Qatar, and the tensions that scar the wider region.
You have no moral ground. You have no moral standing to criticize what is going on in Gaza. Because we are doing worse than what is taking place in Gaza. More people are dying from the activities of the monsters you created in Nigeria than they are dying in Gaza. The only difference is that the international media is not highlighting and bringing to the fore for the world to hear what is actually taking place in Gaza. Because the mainstream media in Nigeria is lazy and corrupt. You have the effrontery to be talking about Gaza. What is taking place is worse than what is in Nigeria is worse than what is taking place in Gaza. Even though I detest what Benjamin Netanyahu is doing in Gaza. I have the moral platform to stand up to call President Netanyahu to order, but you don't. But because you are a terrorist, you created a terrorist organization that is destroying Nigeria. They came, now when they move down south, they call it bandits. They found a nice name to give it, bandits. It's the same thing, they morph. You are responsible. So shut your mouth up about what is taking place in Gaza. Let those who stand on firm moral ground, moral high ground, talk about it. Not you. Not you, Kashin Shetima. You are a terrorist, damn terrorist. You can't talk about Gaza.
It is not only because of the culture of impunity that makes such acts intolerable, but because our own bitter experience has taught us that such violence never ends while it begins. We do not believe that the sanctity of human life should be trapped in the corridors of endless debate. That is why we say, without scattering and without doubt, that a two-state solution remains the most dignified path to lasting peace for the people of Palestine. For too long, this community has borne the weight of moral conflict. For too long, we have been caught in the crossfire of violence that offends the conscience of humanity. We come not as partisans, but as peacemakers. We come as brothers and sisters of a shared world, a world that must never reduce the right to live into the currency of previous
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at this man.
civilization searching for order.
Wow.
They are human beings, equal in worth, entitled to the same freedoms and dignities that the rest of us take for granted.
Hypocrisy is the greatest problem of this world. Wow.
Civilized values over fear, civilized values over vengeance, civilized values over bloodshed. We show the opportunities that peace brings, just as the extremists hope to drive apart rival communities and different religions. We work through multilateral platforms within the rule of law to build the consensus and support that makes this immensely difficult and dangerous task that much easier. This is how we deny our enemies the space they crave to fuel tension and despair.
Wow.
This is our experience.
Nigerians, are you hearing this man?
There's perhaps only hope for peace, reconciliation, and victory for the civilized values of the shared humanity. Nigeria is a diverse country, also recognizes the variable geometry of democracy in different forms and speeds. For this reason, we are working with the United Nations to strengthen democratic institutions in our region and beyond through the Regional Partnership for Democracy. Madam President, point 2. The price of peace is eternal vigilance. The increasingly difficult security outlook has prompted many member states to count the cost of the emerging world order. We in Nigeria are already familiar with such difficult choices: infrastructure renewal or defense platforms, schools or tanks. Our view is that the path to sustainable peace lies in growth and prosperity. The government has taken difficult but necessary steps to restructure our economy and remove distortions, including subsidies and currency controls that benefited the few at the expense of the many. I believe in the power of the market to transform. Our task is to enable and facilitate and to trust in the ingenuity and enterprise of the people. But the process of transition is difficult and brings unavoidable hardship. This year, we held the inaugural West African Economic Summit in Abuja to bring investors and opportunities together. The results far exceeded our expectations and are a clear indication of what innovation can deliver. It is in that same spirit of dynamic review that I invite the United Nations to examine the best use of scarce resources. One critical area is climate change. It is not an abstract issue about an indeterminate fate to be settled at some distant point in the future. It is not even solely an environmental issue. It is about national, regional, and international security. It is about irregular migration. Truly, this is an everyone issue. We are all stakeholders and we are all beneficiaries of the great outcome. Madam President, this is why relevant ministers have been instructed to work with the UN to make the best use of climate funds. We believe there are huge shared dividends to accrue from increased support for education, for resilient housing, for access to technology and financing to allow vulnerable communities to thrive, to become part of solutions rather than problems. Nigeria and Africa have made significant strides in recent years to put our affairs in order. We can take that progress to the next level, a level that presents new opportunities for trade, investment, and profit, if we can assess reforms to strengthen the international financial architecture. We need urgent action to promote debt relief, not as an act of charity, but as a clear path to the peace and prosperity that benefits us all. I'm calling for new and binding mechanism to manage sovereign debt, a sort of international court of justice for money that will allow emerging economies to escape the economic straitjacket of primary production of unprocessed exports. It has been over 4 decades in the Lagos Plan of Action, outlined a route away from debt and dependence that highlighted opportunities that today should be explored for local added value for processing and manufacturing in everything from agriculture to solid minerals and petrochemicals. The African Continental Free Trade Area is a remarkable achievement of cooperation. We remain fully committed to the achievement of the SDGs and are convinced that this can be best delivered by focusing principally on our primary mission of growth and prosperity. Madam President, on our third point, we welcome steps to move towards peace in the Democratic Republic of Congo. We agree that international investment and engagement offer a way out of the cycle of decay and violence. Access to strategic minerals from Sierra Leone in the 1990s and Sudan today has for too long been a source of conflict rather than prosperity. Africa, and I must include Nigeria, has in abundance the critical minerals that will derive and drive the technologies of the future. Investments in exploration, development and processing of these minerals in Africa will diversify supply to the international market, reduce tensions between major economies, and help shape the architecture for peace and prosperity on a continent that too often in the past has been left behind by the rivalries and competition between different power blocks. We know in Nigeria that we are more stable when those communities that have access to key resources are able to benefit from these resources. This has been our journey in the oil producing region of the Niger Delta. I believe that will strengthen the international community when those countries that produce strategic minerals benefit clearly from those minerals in terms of investment, partnership, local processing, and jobs. When we export raw materials, as we have been doing, tension, inequality, and instability. Madam President, the fourth pillar for change that I am advocating is a dedicated initiative, bringing together researchers, private sector, government and communities to close the digital divide. As we stand on the threshold of new and dramatic technological change, we are still absorbing the impact of the revolution on information and communication of the past 20 years. Yes, we understand better than we did the opportunities technology offers, as well as the safeguards we need to enable growth and mitigate the potential for corruption. Some worry about fake news. Truly, we have plenty of that, with the potential of devastating real-world consequences in countries rich and poor. I am more worried about an emerging generation that grows ever more cynical because it believes nothing and trustless. As technology shapes of public administration, law, finance, conflict, and so much of the human condition, I'm calling for a new dialogue to ensure we promote the best of the opportunities that are arising and promote the level of access that allows emerging economies more quickly to close a wealth and knowledge gap that is in no one's interest. I join you today to reassert Nigeria's commitment to peace, to development, to unity, to multilateralism, and to the defense of human rights beyond compromise. For none of us is safe until all of us are safe. The road ahead will not be easy, and we know there are no quick fixes to the trials that test the human spirit. Yet history reminds us that bold action in pursuit of noble ideals must always define the story of the United Nations. Time and again, we have found the wisdom to balance sovereign rights with collective responsibility. That balance is once again in question. I believe, quite passionately, that a renewed commitment to multilateralism, not as a slogan, but as an article of faith, remains our surest path forward. Nigeria dedicates itself fully and without reservation to that noble cause. I thank you all for listening.
That was Kasim Shettima, the rogue vice president of rogue Nigerians. Yes, the rogue vice president of the rogue Nigerians, not the vice president of Nigeria. They did not win an election. He's a terrorist. His principal is a drug dealer, certificate forger, and an identity thief. But sadly, because Nigerians gave up their rights, their entire basic human rights, and their rights to the citizenship of Nigeria, they have them at the podium of the United Nations, reading a great speech, but underscored by lies about what everything he said there, 99% lies. So that's where we are. I would have given you more, to listen to, but it's a lot of them. But one good thing that came out of this, is coming out of it, because the conference, I believe, is still ongoing, is the unanimity of calling for a new order at the United Nations, especially the democratization, the call for the democratization of the United Nations Security Council, which has been so in the hands of one group of people who take the pleasure of jumping on any country that does not fall in line, and then force them to fall in line, and then they destabilize them. So, and it's quite really heartwarming to hear that Africans are coming boldly after the very first speech made in 1963 by Emperor Haile Selassie at the Dazen General Assembly of the United Nations, the most powerful speech ever made on that assembly by any heads of state to date. Well, I'm going to play it for you, that Bob Marley put it in his song. Yes, until the philosophy which holds one race superior and another inferior is finally and permanently discredited and abandoned. Well, everywhere is war. Me say war. Yeah, he went on to say, until this ignoble and unhappy regime, and all that. But I'm going to play it in a song, so we flow with it. If you know this song, you sing along, before we come to the conclusion of this. Thank you, Taufik Mabinori. Thank you very much. Abubakar Umar, we appreciate you. Honorable Onoha Stephen Ikechuku, thank you very much for joining the call in Anati, Yaman, Rastafari, Ever Living. And sister, oh my God, it's a lot of people in there, a lot of people. Yes, Gal Foxy 8. Thank you. Yeah, the sound was low. I don't know what happened. I tried to change something here, my computer, but it did not. But I hope you managed to listen to as much as you could. Yeah, thank you for really staying up, from the UK, at this odd time. Thank you very much for joining. Yes, so we're going to play Robert Nesta Marley. Yes, the speech and the song he created out of the speech by the last emperor of Ethiopia, Emperor Haile Selassie. Yeah, actually the father of modern Africa. The man who built Ethiopia from scratch into a modern country. Yes, and Ethiopia has the headquarters of the African Union. Yeah, it was formed in 1963 as the Organization of African Unity. It was later changed some years ago by some lousy heads of state, mostly corrupt puppets, into African Union, after the European Union. But honestly, they who steal everything in their country, put the country's budget, they could not really transform Africa. They could not build roads that will connect the rest of Africa the way Europe is connected. So, and they want to say Africa. How African Union is so broke? China was the one that built their newest African Union Secretariat. They are begging, yeah. But these people from the richest continent on earth, they're thieves. They steal everything. And then China came and built and bugged the United African Union building. Yes. So now it raises some questions. Where are the engineers? Where are the architects, African architects? They don't use them. They will not use them, yeah, to build it. And these people are ready to build. So why are Chinese building roads in Africa? And Africans are not building roads in China? Yes. Why other seamen from Germany building the communication network in Africa, but we cannot build anything anywhere. We are open our mouth like pigs, consuming and consuming. Yeah, this thing has to change. At least if we cannot give to the world, let us provide for ourselves. I think that's the best thing to do. Let those people who went to school in Africa be responsible, be put in charge of developing Africa. They can make all the mistakes they want to make. Because these people now that are transferring their technology down to Africa, they made a lot of mistakes. Yes, they made a lot of mistakes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your gift. We appreciate you. Much love from you. We appreciate you and others who have been given to us. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you. We appreciate you sincerely and very deeply. Yes, so let's put our intellectuals to use. There's no field in human endeavor that you don't find an African. And I have the benefit of knowing this. It's not something that I'll say. It's not a fiction. I was running a textbook distribution business before I decided to calm down and spend more time with my children. Yes, after running around the United States, I've been to America's 48 of its 50 states. The only 2 states that I have not been to, Hawaii and Alaska. But I promised myself within the next couple of years, I'm going to visit these 2 states, so it will be complete. So everywhere I went, I was walking around universities. Every university campus I went, every university campus I went to in the United States, there were Africans, mostly Nigerians. There were Africans, mostly Nigerians. And you know what? The United States agreed in their own statistics, it's not something made up, published that Africans, Nigerians are the most educated people, immigrants in the United States. The whole, if not even the whole of America. The number of Nigerian PhDs here is amazing. What are we doing with them? They are contributing. Even to Pentagon, Nigerians are in there, Africans are in there, building all the great things that the Pentagon uses to fight wars. Now, question. When these guys go to Nigeria, when they return to Africa, they are like fish out of the water. They are not given the enabling environment to express themselves. They are seen as threats by the demons leading the countries around Africa. Every country brings its best to advance its cause and the cause of its future. But in Africa, we import expatriates. Some of them who did not even go to finish technical schools. They come to Africa with suit and tie and a different skin color. They will take them straight to the boardroom. They take them to the presidents of Africa. They will tell them, make presentations to them. And on top of it, they will give them money. They come back here and say, Mado, wow, you guys. Because a lot of people, they ask me, many of my friends here, who are whites. I met so many professors. They tell me, oh, you are so bright. The way you talk, you have a great knowledge about what are you doing here? There was a Professor Kerry, University of West Florida. Every time I went to his office, he said, hey man, hurry up and return to Africa. That was what he told me until he retired. He kept on telling me. He inspired me. Yes. And the highest ranking U.S. Senator, John Cornyn, inspired me. Yes, John Cornyn, I met him one-on-one. He inspired me. His action, how he treated me, inspired me to return to Nigeria. And I ran for Senate. You don't want to hear how it ended. With all the ideas, my campaign was like a presidential campaign because of issues. They are not used to being told about what we should do on education. They are not used to being told what we should do about healthcare. They are not used to being told what the shape the economy will take so that it will give opportunities for a recreation of jobs. Not people who want to, young people, our young people now, well, you know what they want to aspire to? They want to aspire to be special assistants. What special assistant? Yes. That's what young people in Nigeria, mostly around the political thing, they want to be SA, that's what they call it. SSA, Senior Special Assistant. PA, Personal Assistant. That is what they have made our young people to see like as an ambition that they should be proud of. I'm an SA to the governor. So fucking what? No, there is no SA here. None. This system creates jobs. They create real jobs. The system creates real jobs. Jobs for the time. Jobs for the century. Now we are in the era of technology. AI. All right? SI now. Yes, job. Not job to be thugs to politicians, which is the greatest ambition of young Nigerians. So I went back. I was telling them education, how we are going to do education, how we are going to clean up the Niger Delta, so the environment will be good, so that the aquatic life will return, and then how smaller industries coming off of the oil can actually transform they were not listening to that. Like this one. Some people told me to go back to my country, America. They say, you're an American, go back to your country. They told me, this one you are saying here, this is not America. We don't do it like this here. But you don't do it like this here. You live in squalor. You live in hunger. You live in darkness, no electricity. And you are still telling me who lives in a place where like we don't put prayer point on electricity. Now we have to pray for NEPA to bring light. And when they bring light, we say, oh, NEPA. That's what we say in Nigeria. It's like a sin to not have electricity. If I was in Nigeria, I'm telling you, I would be using generator to power all these things that is happening, using for the broadcast. Because if there was light, they would have taken it 3 times. The people pray to God for electricity to come. Is that not ridiculous? Yes. This is the situation we have in Nigeria. This is the type of Nigeria we have. When we tell them, it's like a magic. Can you imagine a university here? A university here in Georgia, Albany State University, as of 2013, when I was still in the books business. I went there. There were over 20 Nigerian professors, excluding a few Ghanaians. 20. The people who were running the university, Albany State University in Georgia, go check it out. Over 20 Nigerian university professors. You talk criminal justice, biology, science, nursing, everywhere was a Nigerian professor. The last time I met them was when, one of the times I met them was when Obama was about to enter the presidential race. I have the spirit of knowing certain things. It touched me. That year, we were, like when I visit them, they would come together and say, hey, our brother from Texas is here. It was so loving, very loving environment. I always look forward to going to Albany State University. We met Professor KDG, Professor Charles Iche. Many of them. Yes. They will say, hey, Mado is here. Because I used to buy books and things. So all of them are professors. They, helped my business a lot. So in the evening like this, we meet at one restaurant owned by a Nigerian woman, Tutiti. Yes. So there we start talking. We started talking about Obama. I told them this guy is going to be the next president of the United States. They were arguing with me. They tell me, no, it's not time now. I said, but I feel it. And then it eventually happened. When I went back, they told me, man, you are something else. I said, yeah, I felt it was going to be. It touched me. It scratched my skin. I was so confident that he was going to be. I didn't have any doubt. So when the momentum started getting bigger and bigger and bigger, they'll be calling me, what? And I told them too, that Hillary Clinton was going to be the U.S. Foreign Secretary. And it happened. Yes. Imagine 20 Nigerian professors. 20 outside Nigeria. Imagine if these people went back with their knowledge, with everything, the experience that they acquired here, what Nigeria would be. But no, when they go back, Nigeria will reject them. It will reject them through the criminals holding the place. Can you imagine a thug being a governor of a state, like Edo State of Nigeria? The governor of Edo State cannot read and write. Yes, I'm telling you. They gave him, he was presenting a state budget. He couldn't pronounce anything. If you want, I would have looked for it so you can hear a whole state governor who cannot pronounce figures. He can't read. And not just that he can't read, we agree that English is not our language. He doesn't have an IQ. His IQ is so low. You engage him, you'll be like, is this a governor? This is a man in charge of over 4 million people's destiny. And he has PhDs walking around him. And because those PhDs in Nigeria, they want to keep their jobs. They will be afraid of telling him the right thing. See, this is the siege mentality in Nigeria. So when we come with the audacity to ask them questions, they say we are so arrogant, we are full of ourselves, because we are asking questions. I ask questions here every day. Nobody gets offended. Yeah, it's my right to ask you a question. If you are misleading me, I'm going to ask you. I will not follow you if you cannot lead me right. So we become offensive. Remember the first man who did the surgery bringing a baby out of his mother's womb and operated on his heart. He's a Nigerian from here, Texas, Houston, Texas. Nigerian. The first who did it. So imagine if there was an enabling environment at home. When he goes home, he can't function. He won't be able to do that type of surgery because you don't have time. These guys will steal everything. They take everything away. They don't care. They vandalize the country. The vandals are the ones destroying our country. And then sadly, our people follow them like chicken. Yes, like chicken. We follow them. The people follow them. They make you who knows what to do, look like you are a fool, like you are stupid. They did it to me. I took all my money to Nigeria to run a campaign. Because in Nigeria, the voter wants you to pay him money to vote. Have you ever seen a thing like that? So I was trying to see it here in the United States. Nobody has ever offered me money to vote. There was a time some people came, old people, they came to campaign to me to support somebody. They came. One was Indian, another one was from another country, and they were a group like that. I was surprised. I was waiting, and that was the time I was running for Senate. I recorded them, to show Nigerians how citizens can commit to setting their country free, how citizens really care about their children and their future, and they work hard to bring about the emergence of someone who can help guarantee those futures. Yes. Now my story with Senator John Connor. After 9/11, one of my cousins came from Nigeria to visit me. So he said he wanted to go to Galveston Island. We study world geography in Nigeria. So he still remembered Galveston. Galveston is like about 50 miles south of Houston. So we decided to go to Galveston. I had my camera. I love to take pictures. So we were taking pictures. After the end of the day, we retired home. And then they left for Nigeria. Early in the morning the following day, 2 FBI agents were at my door. I was in the restroom. And then my wife called to say, what's going on? There's FBI here, they are looking for you. Did you do anything wrong? I said, no, well, I don't have anything, I didn't do anything wrong. I don't remember doing anything wrong. So, they came. One was black, and the other one was white. The white one became so nasty, so I told them, man, you need to slow down. I am not a criminal. If there is anything you have against me, just why not tell me? So the black guy stepped in and asked me, were you in Galveston yesterday? I said, yes. Then I asked, is that the reason you are here? He said, yes. That somebody reported me as taking pictures of tall buildings. Which means like, okay, I've become a suspect for terrorism. Mapping out places for terrorists to strike. So they started asking me questions about how I came into the country, when I came, which airport did I land. Every question that I answered, they would look into their computer and they would nod. So when the whole thing was over, I offered them the camera. I said, well, this is the camera. I've not done anything with it. I've not deleted any of the pictures. All the pictures that I took are still here. If you want, you can take it. Then they told me now that they didn't know that was okay. But that what is happening, everybody is being careful because of what happened on 9/11. So I thought it was over. And they left. I continued my business for the day. The following day, in the afternoon, another set came, this time with heavily armed, with all kinds of guns. They were kicking my door, actually. So I came out and said, why are you kicking my door? The same thing, the same people, they introduced them, FBI. So I said, okay, some people were here yesterday. So what is this whole thing about? They said, oh, I said, yeah, some people were here. I think you guys should be coordinating, so you know. Well, they took me through the same thing, the same type of questioning. And at that time, I was on my pathway to my green card. So they left. All of a sudden, the process of my green card stopped. Everything stopped. When I go to immigration to find out status, they will tell me they are doing name check on me. Name check, name check, name check. This name check did not end. So that aroused like something is not right. So that's how my wife called to find out what's going on. So that was how I got connected to Senator John Conney. I called his office. They told me what to do. I should bring all my immigration papers. I sent everything. The next day, he called me from Washington. He told me, hey, you are in big trouble. You are in a big trouble. You know. But I've looked at your status. You are a good guy. But you know what is taking place in our country right now. So everybody is a suspect. So it might take 10 years, it might take 2 years, it might take so many years. But I can tell you this, I cannot guarantee, I will not influence, I can't even influence it because FBI is involved. And I said what makes your case tough is because your name, your case file is on the table of the President of the United States. That was George Bush Jr. at the time. My file was directly on his desk. Yes, I am saying it. My file was on the desk of President W.J. Bush. Yes. He said that's how serious your case is. But I've checked you out, you're a good guy. So what you can do, one thing you know, you cannot leave the United States. You can't go anywhere. You have to be here. Just go about your duty until everything is over. It may take tomorrow, it may take 30 years. I cannot tell you how long it's going to take. I can't do anything. The FBI is involved. He came to Houston. I saw him. We talked. So while the whole thing was going on, it took 8 years, nearly 10 years before my green card was released. Yes, that's me. I am grilled for what I am doing for Nigeria and Africa. I'm not scared of anyone. I just want people to follow so we can rescue that country and that continent and make its systems work. America invested so much in investigating me. They invested over $5 million in following me. Every hotel I was around the United States, they were there. When I was driving, they were using satellite to follow me. Everywhere. This guy you are seeing, yes. I know I'm not a criminal. How many times I was bumped off airplanes? How many times I was searched like a criminal? How many times people provoked me in order to get angry so that they will have a reason to arrest me? Yes, I am grilled, fried, roasted for what I'm doing. That's why I get so sick when Africans at home don't wake up. They live a life of corruption. Like I'm talking about, I know Nigeria very well. Nigeria, where people will sell their votes. They will tell you that they are hungry. That's the reason they sell their votes. Now, when they sell those votes, it will take another 4 years before they will have another opportunity to sell another one. So between those 4 years, you are hungry. So you're telling me that one day of voting out criminals is so hard for you. You tell me that you justify that it's poverty. No, I don't agree with any person who tells me that poverty is the reason why they will vote for a terrorist. They will vote for a drug dealer. They vote for a certificate forger. You have the problem. We Africans have a problem. Our culture, our customs and tradition makes us so vulnerable for corruption. We need to change something. And because of this way our system is put together, we are a very good people. We take so many things for granted. That's why external forces will come and bribe us to be idiots. They will take everything we have and turn around and be laughing at us. Do you know how millions of Africans with high-profile degrees who can transform Africa in a matter of less than a year. If Africa was united, like Kwame Nkrumah wanted, like Modibo Keita wanted, yes, like the rest of them wanted, we won't be where we are. We are the richest continent on earth, populated by over 1.5 billion people. Mostly people living in abject poverty. Yeah, 75% that's live below poverty line. Youths, young people for no just cause. They are the ones marching with legs across the Sahara Desert. They are the ones marching through the Nubian Desert to be enslaved in Europe. Yeah, to be put in concentration camps and fed dog foods. Yes, they are the ones, you see them a lot in India. They are the ones in Malaysia. They are the ones everywhere. Yes, people from this great continent, endowed with a massive amount of mineral and natural resources. Yeah, they are the ones. Tragedy of leadership. What we are suffering. And that is why they do not take us seriously at the United Nations. That is why they go to the United Nations to shave our heads without us being present. They make decisions. How can a Chinese be making a decision? How can a European be making a decision on Africa? Yes, Africa, he doesn't know, he's not an African. Yes. And then, why should Africans be going there every year? So I would think that I suggest that this should be the last year. If Africa is not put in a position with a veto power like the United States, like China, like Russia, like France and Britain has, we have no business being at that United Nations. It's not for us. It's a useless organization. It's not for us. It's not for us. They say it's United Nations. It's not united. United Nations should be democratized to reflect how united the world is. And that is why they have not been able to solve any problems since 1945 when it was created. It's a fake organization. I don't recommend it for Africans. It's not for us. We should go back and build a true African Union. An African Union that we fund by ourselves. An African Union that Europe does not have to come and bring their representative there. They have no business being there. An African Union that should not have Arabs being there. We are not members of the Arab leagues. No, we want an Africa for Africans. An Africa that will, okay, we are Africans. We can share with the world. We should not be the Africa that will continue to sell raw materials. We should be Africans that can build industries, create jobs, build educational system that educate our people in accordance with who we are, so we can explore our environment and be the best we can be anywhere on earth. That's the type of Africa we want. That's the time. Listen to Bob Marley. Listen to Bob Marley as he put the message of Emperor Haile Selassie I, delivered in 1963 at the General Assembly of the United Nations in New York. 1963 was the year. Bob Marley put that in a song. Let's see. Hey, Gary Kavanaugh, thank you very much. God bless I and I. Thank you. We love you. Yay. The philosophy which hold one race superior and another inferior is finally and permanently discredited and abandoned. Well, everywhere is war. Me say war. And until there's no longer first class, now second class citizens of any nation, until the color of a man's skin is of no more significance than the color of his eyes. I beg to say what? And until the basic human rights are equally guaranteed to all without regards to race. Me say what? Well, until that day, the dream of lasting peace, well, citizenship, and the rule of international morality will remain but of fleeting illusion to be pursued, but never attained. Well, everywhere is war. Me say war. War in the east, war in the west, war up north, war down south. And me say war. Rumors of war. And until the day of reaching the hold our brothers in Nigeria. In Nigeria, yeah. I've been the bondage has been toppled, utterly destroyed. Well, everywhere is war. Me say war. War in the east, war in the west, war up north, war down south. Yeah. And me say war. Rumors of war now. And until that day, the African continent will not know peace. That's where we are. We Africans, we fight it. We find it necessary. Tell you what, we know we shall win. And we are confident in the victory of good over evil. Of good over evil. Of good over evil. Well, everywhere is war. Me say war. War in the morning. War in the night. War in the evening. War every time. War. War. We done. Well, auntie, this ignoble, superior, and another inferior is finally and permanently discredited and abandoned. Well, everywhere is war. Africans, unite. Africans, arise. Yes, this is the moment. Africa, unite. Unite, 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 unite. Yeah, we don't need no more trouble in Africa. Come on, unity, right now. Bob Marley said it. Emperor Haile Selassie said it. Marcus Mosiah Gabe said it. Emperor Haile Selassie, Kwame Nkrumah, Modibo Keita, Kenyatta, all of them. Africa, unite. Africa, unite. Hey, no more trouble. We done. No more trouble. Yeah. No more trouble. Tell you what we need is love to guide and protect us. Yeah. We don't need no trouble. What we need is love. trouble. Speak happiness. Yes, speak with love. Speak with love. Speak with love. Africa unite. Yes. No more trouble. Yeah. We don't need no more trouble. No more trouble. Hey. Rastafari. Ever living. Ever poor. Ever pure. Yes. Africa, unite. Africa, unite. Africa, unite. Africa, unite. What we need is love. Yes, that was Emperor Haile Selassie's speech in 1963 at the United Nations General Assembly that Bob Marley put into a song that has become a global anthem. Yes, every generation knows it. It's like it happened yesterday. That's the power of leadership. Yes, and that is what we want now. Give us the Africa. Give us the teachings of His Majesty. For we no want, no devils, philosophy. Can you hear? Give us the teachings of His Majesty. We no want, no devils, philosophy. Feel it in the one drop. Yeah. But we still find time to rap with making up one stop. Yeah, 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 yeah. The generation gap. So feed this drum beat. Yeah. Acid beats within. Playing a rhythm. Whoa. Fighting against ism and sexism, singing. I know Jah never let us down. Put your right from wrong. I know Jah never let us down. Oh no, oh no, oh no. They made their work so hard every day. Yes, it's been such a great evening. I wish I can just continue, but I am constrained by time. I have a lot more to do for this evening. It's been a pleasure. I feel one more time, please, why not? We are at the point of 4,967 subscribers. Why not give me to top it up to 5,000? I know there are thousands of people here who gathered here to watch on YouTube and on TikTok. Make it 5,000. Yes, let this be a historic day. And I'm happy to announce to those who have never heard before that we reached a 1 million view milestone on the 1st of September this year. Yes, and so we are getting to the end of September. Well, let us hit another milestone. It's a pleasure. I feel great. I feel inspired. I feel really inspired, more than ever before to carry on this message. Thank you for all those. My dear sister who from the UK who stood up, to be able to watch this. Thank you, God, Foxy X. Thank you very much. And all those who came, those newcomers who joined us on YouTube. Thank you very much. We appreciate you and make this place home. What we do here, we are a growing global movement for peace, security, and justice. And that is what all we ask for is justice, for the people of the world. We are not asking for more. Let something good come from Africa. We can share. We don't want to be that continent of a repressed people. No more to repression. It's time for us to take hold of our continent. If you are an African now, you must continue to advocate for the liberation of Africa. In your country, in your small, you may think that nobody is hearing you. I tell you, you are making a lot of impact. Brother tell brother, sister tell brother. Before we know it, we reach a hole. Those who fought for the decolonization of Africa, they did a great job. They did a lot of job. They started small. They started small. They started small. Yes, they started. The idea started small. They were infected by the message of Marcus Mosiah Garvey. And then they started asking questions. Here, there are these people here in our midst. They don't belong to here, and they tell us what to do. They came from Europe, and then they are telling us. So these young men started organizing. Yes, that's how the whole thing became like a virus. Boom! The whole of Africa started organizing, asking for them to end their illegal occupation of the African continent. Yes, but sadly, the next generation did not take it. And then we went to sleep afterwards, believing the lies that we were told. Yes, but now is the time, new time, new time, new time, new energy, new time. Yeah, maybe I'll play Rastaman vibration so that we hear what Bob Marley said. New time, new day, new time. This is a new day for Africa. Yes. Before I go, let me do that. Rastaman vibration. Yes, by Bob Marley. So you hear what he said. Positive vibration. Yes. It is. Africa is for us a beautiful place. Beautiful place. Beautiful place. He said, if you get down and you quarrel every day, you are saying prayers to the devil. If you get down and quarrel every day, you are saying prayers to the devil. We have quarreled as a people for too long. Let's end the quarrel. Let's stop the fight. Yeah, because our fight is what they love it. Yeah, they love to see us fight and quarrel and fuss and fight. And that's how they are able to divide us. They keep us divided and keep us stealing from us. This is the time we should come together. Forget about your religion. Religion is a business. It's a personal business. It's not a national business. Yes, it's a pathway to whatever. Some people say it's a pathway to salvation. So take it. Listen, 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 listen. Listen to yourself. Listen to your heart. Don't let nobody. Africans are dignified people. We are not a lesser human being. Actually, we are the beginning. We are the original people. It's everybody who left, including Chinese, Americans, white people, they all came from Africa. Yes, they should respect Africa. We are the beginning, the mother of creation. Yes, Rastaman vibration, Robert Nesta Marley. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Hey. Yeah, yeah, let's go. Yeah, Rastaman vibration, yeah, positive. This is I vibration, yeah. Hear that? Is it positive vibration, yeah. It is vibration, oh Lord. Hear that? Oh, 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 oh. If you get down and you quarrel every day, you saying prayers to the devil, I say, yeah. Why not help one another on the way? Make it much easier. Yeah, easier. In a negative way, you know what I mean. Make way for the positive day. Hold on. New day. He said it's a new day. New sign. Oh Lord. New feeling, yeah. New sign. Oh, what a new day. Hey, Abiola Thompson, how are you? We taking off. Are we taking up now? It's Jala, Jala, Road. Come on. Oh, Jala, it's Jala, protect us. Jala, Jala, protect us. Oh, Jala, Jala, protect us. Yeah. Whoa. Vibration. Yeah. Positive. It is I and I. Vibration. Yeah. Positive. God was a good vibe. Oh, Lord. Oh, yeah. Vibration. Oh, positive. Yes. Africa, unite. It is your time. Unite. Unite. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hey. Yeah, yeah. Easier. Just a little bit easier. In a negative way. You know what I mean? Make way for the positive they have. So there. New sign. I say again. Tell them say. Oh yes, I said. Hear that, children. Taking up. Are you taking up now? Yeah. Are you taking up now? I say what? Jala, Jala, protect us. Oh Lord, Jala, Jala. Hey, Jado, you here? All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. I don't know. Let me see if I can do this here. Rastafari, ever living, ever mighty. Yeah, man. Hey. Rastafari, ever living. All right, one more. You know, I am high. I am high, man. I am high right now. Yes, one drop by Bob Marley. One drop. One drop. One drop. All right, all right, all right. One drop by Bob Marley. Speak to this generation of young people of Africa. One drop by Bob Marley. One drop. One drop. One drop, one drop, one drop, one drop. Yeah, powerful message he gathered for the younger generation. Feel it in this one drop. Yes. Bob Marley left a legacy. He was a huge Pan-Africanist. He left a message, powerful message for Africa and the rest of the world. Yes. Let's listen to him. Hey, Jane, we're about to close. You're just coming, but great. So I'm sure you're going to enjoy one drop. It is for your generation. Great job. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Hey. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Feel it in the one drop. And we still find time to rap. We making up one stop. The generation gap. So feed this drum beat. As it beats within, playing a rhythm. Resisting against this system. Ooh-wee. I know just never let us down. Who you rise from wrong. I know Jah never let us down. Oh no, oh no, oh no. They made the war so hard. Every day we got to keep on fighting. Yes, that's what they did. They made the war so hard. Every day the people are dying. Yeah. For hunger and starvation. Lamentation. But see it in Revelation. You find your redemption. Give us the teachings of His Majesty. We don't want no devil's philosophy. Give us the teachings of His Majesty. We don't want no devil's philosophy. We feel it in the one drop. And we still find time to rap with making up one stop. And we feeling the gap. So feed this drum beat. As it beats within, playing a rhythm. Fighting against ism and sexism, singing. I know Jah. I know He will never let us down. Oh no, oh no, oh no. They made their war so hard every day. Every day the people are dying. I say, oh, we dread. We are dread, you know. They're scared of the dread. How fighting dread. How fighting dread. Give us the teachings of His Majesty, your speaker. We no want no devil's philosophy. Can you hear? Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Whoa. Ah. Yeah. Whoa, Lord. Yeah. Ah. Ah. Yeah. Ah. One more. Rastafari. Rastafari. Ever living. Ever living. Ever mighty. Ever pure. Man, I am high. I am high. I am high. Rastafari, Jah, open the doors for the liberation of Africa. Total liberation. That what happened before will not happen again. Give us the spirit to overcome what the consequences of our past. That it will not happen again. Wake the young generation of Africans up to their responsibility of defending their continent. Like Americans defend America, Canadians defend Canada, Arabians defend Arab, Egyptians are defending Egypt, Israelis are defending Israel, and the Russians are defending Russia. Give African young people the understanding that is consistent with who we are as a people. When Jah made us, He gave the black man wisdom, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that He traded away. Now it's a moment for recovery. We must recover. And that is what this whole thing is about. Yes, Natty Dread rise again. And after this, I don't know, Natty Dread. Right Natty right. Right Natty Dread. Right Natty right. Right Natty right. That's what. Yeah, that tells my story. Right Natty right. I'm not scared of anybody. Yeah, this is the time. We have to take hold. We have to free Africa. Africa is too beautiful to be in chains. We have been in chains for too long. Only one people. They went through slavery. They went through colonialism, imperialism, yes, apartheid, and now globalization. When is the world going to say, okay, these people, let's let you go? But they will not. We have to fight and earn the respect. We have to fight. Africans, you got to fight. There is no way other than you fighting. We got to fight. Yes. Yes. That's the only way. All right. Right at the right. Bob Marley. Right at the right. Uram pampa, uram pampa. Yep. Daddy got a job to do. And he's got to fulfill his mission. To see his heart. And that's your greatest ambition. But he will survive in this world of competition. Cause no matter what they do, they keep on coming through. And no matter what they say, they did it every day. Natty dread rise again. Through the mystics of tomorrow, Natty dread rise again. Have no pains, have no sorrow, yeah. All you see again is to fight against the Rasta man. So they build their world in great confusion to force on us the devil's illusion. But the stones that these builders refused shall be the head cornerstone. And no matter what games they play, that we've got something they can never take away. We've got something they can never take away. And this the fire, this the fire that's burning down everything. Feed the fire, fire. Only the birds have wisdom. Yeah, no time to be deceived. And that you should know and now believe. Just as the judgment would not be with water, no water can put out this fire, this fire, this fire, this fire. Hayagayo. So ride, Natty, ride. Go there, ready, go there. Tell you what, now the people gather on the beach. The wicked weeping for their souls. Everywhere the fire is burning, destroying and wasting their souls, destroying and melting their goods. So ride, Natty, ride. Go there, ready, go there. Tell you what, now the people gather on the beach, and the leader tries to make a speech. But the dread again told them that it's too late. Fire is burning, man, pull your own weight. Fire is. Now the dread rise again. Whoa, go there, ready, go there. Go ride, Natty, ride. Go there, ready, go there. Ride on through the storm. Yeah, we ride through the storm, we ride through the calm. Yeah. Oh, ride, Natty, ride. Oh, go there, ready, go there. All right, the people of the world. The people of the world. Wow, wow. More, I am in the spirit, seriously, big time in it. Well, one last one. Ambush in the night. Yeah, for the young people of Africa, you are victims of ambush in the night. You don't understand it. But listen, so you hear what ambush in the night means. Yes. Yes. Your destiny was hijacked. But we can take it. We can take it back. Work with us. Yes. You deserve to be free. Like Americans, like Chinese. like Canadians, like all Asians, like Indians. Africans deserve to be free. The African young people deserve to be free. Yes. See them fighting for power. And they know not the hour. So they be bribing with their guns, spare parts, and money, trying to belittle our integrity now. They say what we know is just what they teach us. And we are so ignorant that every time they can't reach us through political strategy. They keep us hungry. So when we gonna get some food, our brother got to be our enemy, ambush in the night. All guns aiming at me, ambush in the night. They open fire on me, ambush in the night. Protected by His Majesty, who we see them fighting for power. But they know not the hour. But they, with their guns, spare parts, and money, trying to belittle our integrity now. Well, what we know now is not what they tell us. And we are not ignorant anymore. So they just cannot touch us. Through the power of the Most High, we keep on surfacing. Through the power of the Most High, we keep on surviving in their ambush in the night. And by society, ambush in the night. They're trying to conquer me in this ambush in the night. All I know, we got to be free. Rastafari, ever living, peace, love, yes, wisdom. God bless all of you who took your time to be with us here, both on TikTok and YouTube. It's been such a great moment. Yes, much love. Rastaman vibration is positive. You Africans, you Nigerians, run with this message. Stop selling yourself short. You are human beings. You are not commodities. Bye for now. And once again, I make a final call for those following me on not following me yet on TikTok. Follow me right now. Yeah, I got a lot to unleash for the liberation of Africa. If Africa is liberated, all Africans will be free. Yes, for those who have not followed me or subscribed to our channel on YouTube, please do so now. We want to hit the 5,000 mark. I know we have over 10,000 people already watching here. We can make it happen. So give us that subscription. If you love what we do, like Brother Kavanaugh did, we thank Kavanaugh for the love he showed us, by the money he donated. Thank you and God bless you. And if you have not joined our membership here, please do so. We do a lot to support causes in Nigeria and Africa. We are expanding our horizon. If you make us bigger, definitely we will impact every community. We impact every nation in the world. That is our mission. Make us that big global alternative. Yes, we report this situation, the way exactly the way they happen. Yes, we thank you very much for being with us this great evening. Bye for now, and we look forward to seeing you in our next stream. Much love from Smart Mado Ajaja. I am the convener of Open Nigeria and Africa Unite, and the CEO of ONN. Yes, from Houston, Texas, United States of America. I was born in Nigeria 63 years ago. Don't look at how young I look in the face. Yes, I'm a 63-year-old man. I am burning for the liberation of Nigeria. I am burning for the liberation of Africa. I understand that Nigeria right now is the obstacle, the biggest obstacle to the liberation of Africa. Yes, and the unification of Africa, let's say. So this is what we must do. We Nigerians, we have tried tribalism 64 years after. Where did it lead us? Honestly, I am an Ika person in Nigeria. If you ask me what Ika has done for me, beyond the language that I speak, the language, yes, I was raised in well raised, to be very candid. We have a tradition. But I come from that old generation. But the younger generation, they are not what we are supposed to be. Why? Because we lost our moral compass. We have to reclaim it now so that future generations will not be in disarray the way this current generation is. This generation, they make me bleed, they make me cry. That is why I came out, to do what I am doing. I am supposed to be an older person, who put the young people at the forefront of driving our country on the platform of morality. Nigeria is right now, as it stands, is a morally destroyed country. Yes, I don't know about the other part of Africa, but I communicate with that. The situation is not much of a difference. So this is where we are talking about. Let's leave religion alone, please. Take it, it's your business. Okay, because every religion says that when you die, you will go to heaven. Me, I'm a Rasta. From what I understand, what I read, he said live in heaven. So if you say live in heaven, which means this earth is the first heaven. So we have to make it better. So I don't have to suffer here and die. And one pastor is eating, I'm giving him money, he's buying jets, he's building the best, building cities. And then he's telling me every Sunday, one malam is telling me every Friday that I have to suffer and die no matter what the situation is. God take charge. No, God cannot do what he already gave you the power to do. God gave us the power to overcome. That is why he said, I give you dominion. See, they interpret this Bible upside down. God said, I give you dominion. And dominion does what? Dominion over all things, including dominion over bad situations that you can handle and say, no, I cannot deal with you. Dominion over bad leadership, like the trash, pieces of shit leading Nigeria. The people of Nigeria can come together and say, use your dominion. Your dominion translates into your basic human right. The right to life, the right to choice, the right to freedom of expression, the right to freedom of association, the right to worship responsibly, and the right to self-determination. Like Bob Marley said, every man has got the right to decide his own destiny. And in this judgment there is no partiality. Yeah, so I'm in arms with arms. We fight this little struggle, children. We come together to overcome our little trouble. Brother, you're right. You see what I'm saying? So we can make this happen. See, all these things we are suffering in Nigeria, we are suffering in Africa. They are all human creation. It's not God. Let's stop blaming God, that God is the way of God. No. You wake up and just jump in the front of a car and the car crushes you and you blame God. That is how God wanted you to die. That is a lie. God did not create any man to be poor. You have to demand for your right. You must know that as a citizen or citizens of a country, there are rights that are specific to you. Nigerians are not taking those rights. Let's get away from tribalism. It has not helped and it will never help us. Let's get away from regional nationalism. It's not going to help us. Let us get away from blind political partisanship. Blind, so when you support an idiot because he's a member of your party, you see an opposite person on the other side of the aisle. He's a better person, he's better qualified. He has all it takes to lead you. Follow him. God did not make you a slave. That is why we Rastas, we don't do political party. We bring people together because politicians divided the people, but we united the people. When I ran for Senate, people from every party was in my campaign. I was not preaching party. I was preaching love. I was preaching together. I was preaching unity. I was talking about education. I was talking about economy. I was talking about infrastructure. I was talking about healthcare. I was talking about the energy crisis in Nigeria. Yes. So don't let them divide you. Don't let them fool you. Yes. Or even redirect you. You know? Yes. Get up and stand up. Stand up for your rights. Stand up for your life. Stand up for Nigeria. Stand up for your children. Stand up for their future. Stand up for the future of unborn generations of Nigerians and Africans. We have not had the luxury of having the leadership that can make that happen. That is why we are suffering. Well, tonight is it. I love you guys, and I look forward to seeing you in my stream. Next stream. Bye for now. And give us feedback. Let us here continue this conversation. Write your comments. Our turnaround times within 24 hours, we're able to respond to comments made, during our streams. And I want to make things better. Make sure you suggest, what you think we can do to get better and better and better. And please bring more people. Let them know that you discovered a channel that you loved so much. You want them to experience the channel. All we talk about is love, peace, and togetherness of Africa, Nigeria, and the whole of the world. Bye for now, and I love you guys. Bye-bye.